Oh, baby. A little later than expected. After some brief technical issues, there was a moment there we were concerned this episode was just cursed. It's been delayed quite a bit, I feel, this episode, right? It feels like we'd agreed on this episode years ago, to be honest. It really does. But we're here, finally, to talk about Barry Windham, one of my personal favourites. And what an interesting story, too. So much to get into tonight. Such an unusual career, honestly. But what a great talent. Expert panel, as always, your favourite quartet. Bob O'Neill, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited for this one. I'm watching Total Nonstop Action Impact at the moment, so have that on in the background. But yeah, fired up. Happy to be here.
The combo of TNA Impact 2026 and Barry Windham talk is really distressing, I have to be honest. But I hear you and I feel you. Okay, the Oracle of Wrestling, just dealt with a pizza, mate. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey.
I have finished my pizza. So, this show was scheduled about 3.5, 4 weeks ago, and real life occurred. And then it was scheduled again for maybe the 30th. And then I hilariously just passed on it and scheduled to go see a fucking Marvel movie instead.
Wow.
So,
wow.
So we had to delay it for 2 weeks for other real life things, and now we're finally here. Did
you like the movie at least?
It was good. It was actually pretty good. Yes.
Was it Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man.
That's a big one. At least it weren't like like Doctor Strange 8 or something.
Garbage,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Contrarian Alex in a new spot. We were battling some technical difficulties. You seem to be good, though. You're looking sharp. How are you, brother?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm still settling in here in the Pacific Northwest. Quite the jaunt I recently had, but nothing is going to make me feel closer to home and normalcy than an episode of the Grin Grappler. I'm pretty much unpacked, but not quite to the point where you can see my notes had to be taken on a town suite notepad from my travels recently. So I'm ready to knock this out. I love Barry Windham, and I think there's a lot of interesting discussion points that are going to come from this episode. And just glad to be back.
I am too. Your location is not the only new thing tonight, though. I do actually have some news for the people watching along at home. Our friend, Chat Matt, we call him, has made a Grin Grappler bingo card.
Oh, baby.
And I have looked over this. I don't want you guys to see it until the end because I don't want you to be hesitant on playing the hits. But, man, it really, it's just got all of our worst stuff, really. It's just very, very distressing. There is a link in the chat now. There are still some cards waiting to be collected. So get involved, click that link in the chat, and if you pull it up, there'll be a card waiting for you. And I believe what you do is you click the square that we say, when we say it, obviously, and you'll tick it off. Get involved, and tell us in the chat, if you're not on the Discord, tell us in the chat if you've won at any point, and feel free to message me or whatever, screenshot and win the show with that, I guess is what we'll do.
That's fucking incredible.
I don't lie, dude. I was reading it, and I was, uncomfortable with how, every one of them I just was like, yep, there it is. That's another thing we do a lot. Yeah, all of it. It ain't great for me, obviously, because the host, I'm just fucking just guilty as sin on that thing. But, a fun thing, we've been doing we're over 50 into the Grin Grappler now. This is the 54th or 53rd Grin Grappler.
Man.
Wow.
We've compiled the greatest Royal Rumble almost. We just need, 6 more guys?
Dude, we're, we started in March 2022.
Wow.
And this is the only show that's lived the whole time too. It actually has existed since it started. It's been happening the whole time. We never stopped it or cancelled it, which is
bullshit. It's like a monthly highlight for me. I look forward to this every month. So
me too, mate. And I've been looking forward to this one in particular. We have a lot to discuss, folks. As you file in, almost 30 of you already here on a beautiful Thursday night. No doubt watching Impact alongside us. Please do like the stream. Let's talk about Barry Windham. Bob O'Neill, when would you say, if it did, your Barry Windham fandom began, how it evolved, so on and so forth, Bobby?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to map out because he wasn't in Legends of Wrestling, so I wasn't really aware. I was aware of him, from the big stuff, but I didn't really start enjoying him until I started the WCW 1993 stuff because he's awesome in there. We're going to talk about a match from there a little bit later, and yeah, and little spurt alone kind of got him on the Bob's Badness bracket as one of my 64 favorite wrestlers of all time. So I guess he is. I mean, and he rules. And the stuff we watched today added to it. He's in one of the only good, probably the only good WrestleMania 1 match we'll talk about. So yeah, I mean, a lot to like about Barry Windham.
There you
was that
go.
for all of us, or was that just me?
That was for all of us, brother. So, folks, pull back the curtain.
Yeah.
Trey and Alex was fighting for his life with some lag, and Bob O'Neill was Oracle cosign exploding with laughter. Someone else was battling a lag, like yelling with laughter, and immediately in his first contribution to the program, Robot Bob emerges. So there it is, folks. Really are playing the hits here. All right. To be clear, I mean, what Eric Bob said was accurate. He and I actually talked about, like, that stuff is some of my favorite Barry Windham stuff, which we'll obviously get into more later. Oracle, I got a feeling I'm going to hear about a familiar poll in a second. Tell me about your Barry Windham fandom, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So my first entry to Barry Windham was like Four Horsemen lore and all that stuff. Watching some old VHS tapes that my brother had. I think maybe one of the old Great American Bashes. I believe he was in maybe one of those. But I really became a fan of Barry. Here we go. During the WCW Smarks Choice poll in 2009, where we ranked the top 100 WCW matches of all time, and Barry was of course showed up a lot in that, and that's where I kind of, me and a whole lot of other people, realized how great he was, particularly in the early 90s, as both a face and a heel. We cover that period with two matches, both which he was a heel in those cases, but he also had a great face run during the Dangerous Alliance era. Just a tremendous wrestler. Had his setbacks, had a very uneven career. Kind of came back and got his confidence back a little bit in '99, which we cover some here. But legitimately in the 80s, when he debuted, one of the most gifted and talented rookies out there, maybe in the history of wrestling. I believe he won Rookie of the Year for, I don't know if he won a Gimmick Rookie of the Year. I think he won a Gimmick Rookie of the Year, but for like PWI. But I think he was legitimately really fucking good in Florida.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like the gimmick. It was just like he was like actually legitimately awesome. But yeah, he at his best, something special. And we'll cover his career the best we can. And always a guy that I look at as like, wow, this guy's so fucking good. And I'm glad we're going to cover the Scorpio match, which is like when he finally had it all figured out. And that's like the peak of that run.
It is much to discuss on that front. A personal favorite, that match in particular. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm always fascinated by careers such as this one, where it's a genuine legend, like a legitimate all-time great in my view. And I think most would agree with that. They've seen Barry's work, but also someone who undeniably could have and should have done more. That's an interesting thing to me. And he's like if you took Randy Orton and added the idea that Randy just moved promotions. Because Barry was also famous for just being like, I'm out. I'm good. Mm-hmm. He would do that all the time by his own admission. So he's a guy where you have a lot to kind of stuff to weigh up when you think of him as an all-timer, in the sense that I think his best work is like incredible, but he was a little bit mercurial. He had injury issues. The second half of his career was at times pretty sad. But man, if you've never seen Barry Windham at his best, you're missing out on one of the best US workers ever. I really believe that.
Oh, so, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. when I became obsessed with WCW, he was like an absolute standout. I was stunned at how great he was because I think he's somewhat lost to history. So when I was watching this stuff now just over a decade ago, I obviously was fascinated by the Dangerous Alliance, and he's a huge part of that story as a babyface. But the stuff that really blew my mind was when he turns heel, and I just think he's just like, oh my God, he's so mean, and he's so polished as a pro wrestler. So, yep, huge fan. Incredible tag worker too, which obviously we're going to cover along the way. Alex, I'm intrigued. Your Barry Windham fandom, mate.
Yeah, it would have had to been when I was a kid, the WCW early 90s. My personal childhood anecdote on Barry Windham was I was so starved for a Stone Cold Steve Austin action figure that I could not wait. And of course, this is before like I knew how to use the internet really at all, and so I didn't know that the Bone Cruncher Bad Boys Steve Austin was on its way to stores, but which game changer figure for those who lived through it. But anyway, I was so starved for a Steve Austin figure that I did notice my Galoob Barry Windham had black tights, black boots, and his arm was kind of affixed like this. That would be perfect for a stunner. So I took a pair of kitchen scissors and shaved off the hair of Barry Windham so that I made the figure bald, and used him in my fig fed as Steve Austin until I got that. Of course, later down the line, realizing that I then had to replace my Barry Windham Galoob, but gladly did so. I think I found like his bendy somewhere too one time. But Barry Windham is someone like my dad has always like, he'll always have like the most esoteric or just kind of random wrestlers that he will bring up in conversation, or like quirks in terms of like his knowledge from like me growing up watching wrestling. I've never heard him call Barry Windham Barry Windham. He's always referred to him as the Widowmaker. Like, not even doing a bit, but just like in conversation, he's like, "Oh yeah, Widowmaker," and like, and for those who know that he had the Widowmaker for half a cup of coffee, but like that's all my dad remembers of Barry Windham is that gimmick. So, Barry is someone that I thought looked really cool when I was a kid. Just the tall white guy, long hair, and I'm talking like beer belly Barry Windham, like 94. Like I thought he looked cool then. And Barry is someone that I definitely grew up to. I remember seeing the Flair matches kind of for the first time, and they were a bit revelatory in the sense of I was just used to marauding mean guy Barry Windham and how like just unbelievable he is in those matches as a babyface. And so I think his rookie stuff I really came into later. But he's a guy that I always was really high on, and I have some pretty, I think, borderline hyperbolic opinions on him that I think we'll get back to when we close out this. But he's someone I've always enjoyed watching. He's like a less obnoxious Jake Roberts in the sense of even in like shoot interviews when he talks and stuff, he's still delivering it like in a promo cadence, but it still comes off as kind of like cool and whatnot. I was there. I realized when I was getting ready for this, he's a 2-time Hall of Famer in the WWF Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And, like, within all reason, and I'm sure they won't do this just to complicate things, but like, he absolutely should be in the Hall as a singles too. So like, theory, in theory, he could be a 3-time WWE Hall of Famer.
Man, if they gave him that before fucking Flair.
Yeah.
No, Barry, that's not for you, Bubba. But I was there in Miami in 2012 when the Horsemen went in, and I guess the video they played before they inducted them, what was that? Chasing Cars. I forget the name of that group, but it was like this really amazing 4 Horsemen video package that only aired for the live audience. But
that's like genuinely lost, dude. That's crazy, isn't it? It's like yeah. Wow.
That, like the Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels Bittersweet Symphony, but that recently someone unearthed that. Anyway, Barry Windham, unbelievable wrestler, a guy I'm looking forward to talking about here. And like, I mean, anyone who listens to this knows for my taste in wrestling, it doesn't get a whole hell of a lot better than Barry Windham. You give me Barry Windham versus Timmy Thatcher, man, clothes are coming off. That's the kind of guy he was.
What a fascinating direction to take that at the end there. I didn't see if that was on the bingo card or not, but I'm wondering if someone just ticked the box off for the Timothy Thatcher shout. We'll see.
And the good thing about Barry Windham was he never committed a murder-suicide like Benny, because I assume Benny's on the bingo card. So,
Alex, it was in about 2.5 hours. We have to talk about anyway. Why did you blow the? Why did you do that?
Giving everybody a freebie there, you know?
Wow. It was. I mean, Oracle and I already had faced. We were going to do that anyway. I mean, that was all right. Fine. Ibu doesn't pay child support. Quite the allegation there. Said here for some Barry graps. Thank you. Ibu doesn't pay child support. Cal said not on mine. There's more. So some of you guys are gonna. There's more options for the bingo cards than all the cards have. So it rotates some. My understanding. At the end of the show, I'm going to read all of the options, just so I don't want to spoil it because I want the boys to start playing for.
Dude, Joe, before I forget, figure talk. Did you see the fucking big rubber guy Barry they announced last week?
I did. Yeah, I popped for it, but there was something about the face that unsettled me. I think I'm going to get it anyway because Barry Windham. But yeah.
Yeah,
I think the figure would benefit from going 93 and having the beard. I think would be the next one they should do.
Oh yeah. That and the pudgy JJ Dillon I thought was pretty fantastic too. Yeah.
Yep, terrific. JJ Dillon did look a little bit like the fella in Rear Window, but nonetheless. Little explanation about Axe here. We had to get pretty creative with Barry because second half of Barry's career, while there's a lot going on, there ain't a plethora of in-ring thrillers, quite frankly. So we had to kind of get a little creative. We started with all things Horsemen heel turn. That includes all the babyface stuff in Florida, WWF. Then we stopped the act there. The work from Horseman run with the stop in between Horseman run, babyface turns heel, and then the act 2 really is kind of the thicker things, which concludes, of course, with the knee injuries, and act 3 is all the rest, and all that entails, good, bad, and ugly. Let's kind of set the stage for a moment. Second generation, of course, son of Blackjack Mulligan. Dude, his debut story is fascinating. He used to go and just hang out at the shows. And J.J. Dillon, of all people, ironically enough, was like, "You're having your first match tonight, Barry." And he was not trained at all. And he's like, "Just listen to me out there, kid." So he just went out there and had a match and I guess I'll figure it out. And then, and this is a perfect example of what we're talking about with him being a natural. He learned to work by being a referee. He would referee the matches and he picked up okay, I guess this is how it operates. I guess this is how you do things with babyface and heel. So, yeah, awesome stuff. Came to prominence, of course, in Florida, including NWA title matches with Flair as early as '82.
Wow.
And cites his main influences in terms of his style. He cites Don Morocco, Manny Fernandez, and of course Dusty Rhodes, who would kind of be someone who would be linked to often throughout his career. He followed Dusty, speaking as such, to Crockett. But then, after some questionable payouts, did a very Barry Windham thing and said, "Fuck this, I'm out, I'm going to WWF." And so he headed to New York, initially as a singles. Yes, Alex.
How long had he been wrestling? Did you say 82 was when he made his debut?
No, he made his debut, the JJ matches before his real debut. So I want to say somewhere in that 80, 81 range, I would like to say that he's like a pro, really.
He looks like a fucking high school student in this WrestleMania match, man.
When he's wrestling Flair, I want to say he's 20 years old in the first and they're going 60 for NWA title matches.
Wow.
And that's where they do the angle, they do the gamble angle they do, where I forget what the details, I haven't seen it in a long time. The Florida angle where it's he challenges him and all that good stuff. And
yeah.
Dusty, Flair was into it, and he was he's our young babyface, let's just do this. And they just wrestled for 60 as a kid. He was wrestling Ric Flair for the NWA title. He initially goes to WWF as a single, which I didn't even know until I was preparing for this. And then he gets Rotundo in. They've been a team previously, obviously, and his brother-in-law. And they have a hell of a run in the WWF that's short, but they really got over. They had Born in the USA as their entrance, and they win the belts in January '85. And that brings us, what a place to start a Grin Grappler lineup, boys.
No shit.
WrestleMania 1, March 31st, 1985. Here in Rotundo, obviously, Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff. WWF Tag Team titles hanging in the balance. This is a sprint, but I kind of like it's the best match on the show, to be honest. Alex, I'll go straight to you on this. What a fun way to start, right? Talk about just jumping into a different world entirely.
Oh, yeah. Real quick, we're not here to talk about WrestleMania 1. I do think the main event is a lot of fun. I like that match. Yeah. All right, let me find my notes here. Yeah, man. This is a fun lineup. Barry's a fun subject, but I was just thinking, we started literally the first WrestleMania turning point in the business, and then we end up at the fucking War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale for fucking WarGames, and Bill Alfonso's in there. So like we go up all peaks and valleys are covered in this one. And yeah, Barry looks like what like high school kids looked like back in those days. Like, you know how everyone looks older back in pictures and shit like that. But he easily looks like he could have been like the star quarterback of, you know, fucking Duluth, Georgia's football team. And his presence, though, I want to call it, is already there, because I don't know if y'all watched the pre-match promo. That fucking buffoon Lou Albano's, well, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna do our best to see if we can win the match and bring back the whole tag titles. I hope we make everybody proud. And then Mike Rotunda says something really fucking banal, and then Barry Windham's just like, Gene, we're heading out to the ring. And like, really, he's like the one cool one. And then I know it's not hard to be cool in front of Lou Albano, but that's he looked really good there. Just the visuals, I think, is another thing that we go through with this journey here. We start in this just dimly lit Madison Square Garden, and, you know, we will end up in the Norfolk Scope, where it's just all spotlights on. So we cover a lot of different eras of wrestling in this. I'm just now realizing that as you said it, but very strange camera work to begin this match. It's like a POV of you like on your knees behind Nikolai Volkoff, and the trunk's like riding up into his ass. And then he just turns around and does a 180 and just stands in front of the camera. So it's like you're on your knees in front of him. Very strange stuff. And I can't unhear it now since Laps fan called it out. Nikolai Volkoff's selling consisted of him screaming. There's a part where Rotunda has him in an arm ring and he's going, yeah! And he's just like screaming as his arm's getting cranked. Sheik is full, if y'all weren't sure. Dude, Cosgrove is fucking gassed to the tits here.
His stomach, bro.
It's that shit of his innies becoming an outie. He's on so much gas, it's like forcing his belly button out. You know, it's a really standard 80s tag match, and by that I mean it's a good thing. It's a good match. It's quick and to the point, but I guess to highlight our subject du jour, Barry gets the hot tag here, and his babyface fire is fantastic. Just unloading punches. He starts working the head and then goes to the body, and Jesse's there unloading lefts and rights to the body. You know, it's and the crowd's really behind him, and he certainly had the look. Dude, he had enough of a look that you got to think that at least somewhere in the recesses of his mind, Hogan was going,
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I want this kid here. Interesting
story about that. Windham said when he was in WCW for the last run, he finally got to talk to Hulk for a long time. And Hulk said to him, like, you're one of the 4 guys that I always assumed I would do business with on top that I never got to work with. He didn't say who the other guys were. And Barry, and this is such a Barry Windham response in 99, he goes, I think that ship sailed unless I'm putting you over on TV. Barry was like, listen, we might work on Thunder or something, but I don't think we're going to be making any money on top. But they could, I mean, in theory, he could have been an incredible Hogan opponent. Couldn't he? Turns on him. They have a whole, I mean, he would have good matches with Hogan. Genuinely.
Dude, they could have, like, even, like, yeah, easily could have done the Hogan 1A program of he's his friend who turns on him. Like, they could have easily done something like that. But yeah, good match, fun times. WrestleMania is just such a different beast at this point that I can't imagine the mind of someone who just knows like the last 10 years worth of like what WrestleMania is, going back and watching this and just seeing that, you know, the non-finishes and these guys just kind of working at a house show pace. In many ways, it's refreshing, to be honest, because I wasn't being beaten over the head with ads and moments. So a fun start.
I would like to see the Netflix analytics on like how many people have watched one, not finished and never watched another one from these times, because I do think a lot of people that when it got to Netflix were like, I'm going to binge WrestleMania. Like, you know, like really casual wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. Bro, if you're a casual wrestling fan, this show is like horrific. Isn't it? It's like the worst experience imaginable. It's so just...
Imagine a cash watching 4, man. WrestleMania 4.
Yeah. Oh, I don't watch WrestleMania 4. I don't watch that, let alone just a normal person. Yeah, it's a different thing, but this match does have like real life to it. They push a good pace because of the runtime, right? They're able to actually go. They make good room for some heat. It's a fun one. Bobby, what did you make of this, mate?
I like this match. It's probably my it is my favorite match on that show. Yeah, I mean, I'd never seen the entrance of them coming to Born in the USA, but I knew on Peacock, their Netflix, that their entrance was dubbed, so I wanted to see what the actual one was. So that ruled. Gorilla was really concerned about the pace they were setting early on. Didn't think they'd be able to keep it up. I appreciate that and him calling that out. Also, that there were 25,000 plus people in the Garden that night. But yeah, I mean, as far as Barry goes, like, he looks like a wrestler. He's very good at the basic stuff here, and it works, man. Like, it's so, and like, in a vacuum it works, and then in the context of the rest of the show, it definitely works, because the rest of the show kind of sucks.
He is there is something always slightly odd about his brief WWF stints, right? Like, he feels like an NWA guy, but a lot of guys that made money in the WWF felt like NWA guys. That was just the way it was. It's interesting to kind of consider what he could have been there. He's terrific here. Obviously, you mentioned how good he is as a tag worker. Oracle, this is a fun time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This probably is. This might be the best match from the show, other than the main event. And the main event's helped a lot by the spectacle of it. The thing I like the most about Barry here was actually, besides obviously the hot tag and his awesome punches, is he does a really great sell job of the finish when he gets hit. With the what is it, the flag or whatever, or
Cane.
Yeah, cane. Yeah. Fred Blassie's cane.
My cane.
And,
Not the big rib machine.
yeah. No longer mayor, by the way. But
shit.
Eat
shit, Glenn.
Yeah, he sells that really terrifically. There's a instant replay of it, and he sells it beautifully. I've seen a lot of US Express matches in the last 15 months. But that's actually a really good team, and they have several matches that are worth watching. I'll give those shouts here in a little bit. But
awesome.
But yeah,
I'm sure you've seen just so much of them.
Yes, quite a bit.
Look, it's another Mike Rotundo match. Oh, my favorite, more. All right. Good shit. I'm glad we started there. Is this got to be the first WrestleMania 1 appearance in Grappler history, right?
Might be.
I think so.
Yes, it is.
Unless we did Piper, but I don't think we did. We did the episode. We didn't do this match, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think we did the match.
This is more than likely going to be the one and only WrestleMania 1 appearance. Unless one time in the future, I think the holiday special could be we could do like celebrity episode, I think, celebrities through the years. That could be the one other way it gets in. The Iron Sheik is here. Tremendous stuff. Windham departs. You're going to hear that a lot tonight. In August 85, he was one of many victims of that schedule, just like breaking a guy. We have to stress, this is very important to actually really highlight this. So much is made of like the WWE schedule, right, through the years, and the schedule. This particular era was unlike anything. They didn't have like a loop situation yet. So they would just fly like market to market. Like they would have a match, they'd fly to the next market. There was none of the stuff where they eventually figured out, okay, we're going to run this area for the weekend. Alex, you hear these stories and it's like, it's insane how long guys manage to do. I mean, a lot of guys like Barry Windham said, fuck this, I'm out, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys from this time have used it to, as a greater than statement or, to justify drug addiction and shit like that. But it really was. I'm trying to. This had like the 84 to probably like 88 WF house show schedule had to be the most insane they ever did. Like, I don't want to do like the Hogan worked 400 days in a year, but like, there's guys from that time period that I would legitimately like believe worked 250 shots in a year.
And the miles, dude, the flight time. Like, we have fun with Hogan, but it is crazy he did it that long, and it really is insane. Yeah, couldn't have felt good. Wasn't for Barry Windham. Clearly, he returns to Florida. The issue is he had somewhat burnt the bridge with Dusty, which is hilarious looking about how many times they would make up after this. But the way he left, he kind of burnt that bridge a little bit. Yeah.
Was it because Dusty was like obsessed with him, right? Like he thought he was going to be like their Hulk Hogan or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
which was already the case when they were in Florida together. But after he left the WWF, he kind of burnt them with the jump to Crockett. Then he returns to Florida, which is where he has that iconic Battle of the Belts match with Flair. Is that time. He also does some All Japan alongside Rotundo, which is like saying it regularly. And we always mark out for this on the Grin Grappler. And he was one of those guys who would regularly just kind of go, I'll just go work for Bubba. And he would do it for like a month, and then someone in the US would call him and he would go back, He does some of that. And then the story goes that after Magnum's crash, he convinced Dusty to give Barry like another shot. And Barry comes back and initially does the Ron Garvin team, but obviously eventually the Flair stuff, not even eventually, very soon after the Flair stuff picks back up because Flair loved wrestling him. And on that note, we're going to do something a little fun here because the week after the match we're about to talk about is one of the greatest TV matches ever, I think. I mean, it's an absolute classic, a Criterion match, if you will, Alex, right? The match that follows a 45-minute draw on TV in 87. We're going to talk about the match that sets that up because it's a little more kind of unheralded, I guess, with the word. This is from Worldwide Wrestling, NWA, January 17th, 87, taped on the 13th. It is an impromptu, chaotic lumberjack match to set up the 45-minute title match. And it is so fun. Oracle, had you seen this? Well, I presume you'd seen this before, right? This is so fun, man.
I'm pretty sure I had seen this before. It's been quite a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
The thing that always stands out to me is that they, Crockett has these crowds that are like just screaming at the top of their, and they don't really. Crockett's not really, they're not like WWF where they like sweeten the sound too much.
No.
So it's just the audience is so invested and so into everything. Even if the guys aren't doing, they're cutting a great pace, right? And it's chaotic and crazy, but it's not like they're not, setting the world on fire, but the investment from the crowd just almost the energy goes into the wrestlers and the atmosphere for this is crazy. You got all the lumberjacks are out there batting on the ring and Barry's beating the shit out of Rick and Rick's bumping all over and things turn into total chaos in the end. It's a really, really good, if anything, it's a snapshot of the era, the period in Crockett, and also kind of shows how awesome and how over Barry was as a babyface at 24 years old, or whatever the fuck he was at this time.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely thrilling 8 minutes, whatever it was.
It's not even that, yeah. It's really short.
It's balls to the wall. It's really a palette, sort of like it's a teaser, Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a teaser for what they're going to get the next week, which of course is a very famous match that I think is on some DVDs and whatnot. But this is a fantastic setup and sort of beginning of one of the great rivalries of the 80s.
Yeah, man, they had such great chemistry. I thought this was a creative way to feature that without doing the obvious, right? Real fun look at their dynamic. Bobby, first time seeing this, mate, what'd you make of it?
It was, yeah. I liked it quite a bit. I was a little surprised. Oh, shit, are we back?
You're good.
Good. Okay. I was a little surprised at how short it was, because I was aware of the, next match, like you talked about, the 45-minute one. And, this was really cool, though. They just kind of throw bombs at each other for 7 minutes. I liked when Flair did the turnbuckle thing, and then Arn caught him on the outside. That ruled. Really just a lot of the Lumberjack involvement was cool, too, because they weren't really getting involved as much as they were preventing, the other side from getting involved, which I like, until the end, obviously. But, yeah, a lot of good stuff there. Barry doing the figure four was a nice touch. I like a suplex from the apron back into the ring. You don't see that anymore. A lot of fun.
You sounded like Vern then. You sort of sported a different voice when you said, "Don't see that anymore." It's a hurried Vern Gagne I heard there in Bob O'Neill. What a moment in time.
Well,
a powerful thing. Alex, Flair and Windham, one of those combinations that I think, if you know, you know, right? I think a lot of people have a lot of fun, myself included, going, that's the actual signature Flair opponent. And I've said that many a time. This is a nice look at that, right, Alex?
Yeah. I didn't realize 3 of their matches got the big Melts 5-star treatment. They got 3 of them. Like they're Okada and Omega here, breaking the scale. But I agree. Great Twitter follow, Jenny Omega. We've had interactions before where she stresses that their draw being like one of the greater, longer matches, like with rewatchability.
Yeah.
And I'd put it right up there with Hennig and Bockwinkel in terms of one that I can go back and rewatch and find something new to enjoy. But yeah, that it was. I would rather, like, if you give me the choice, I'd take their pool of matches over the Steamboat ones, just because like I feel like their dynamic just works better. In this case, it's obviously like very frantic, and it's to stress the point that Barry had him beat, and that I didn't realize he was using the lariat as his finish at this point. I always associate the bulldog, but yeah, he clips him at the end there. It looks great. And Bob called out one of my notes of Flair kind of like crumbling into Arn's arms. I thought that was great. And to set up what it set up, it couldn't have been more perfect. And one of the things in this match that I like just did one of the old fist pumps at is in the early going, Rick hits the knee drop. And then in the second half of the match, he goes for it again and Barry catches it. And like catches his knee and brings him to his feet. And the way the crowd reacts just when he stops it from happening is like, that's classic, fucking Jim Crockett, WCW type crowd reaction. So yeah, I mean, what you guys said is true. It's less than 10 minutes, but you're not going to, for what they were trying to accomplish here, you're not going to do a better job. And also their chemistry was such that I'm sure they'd give Goldberg and Lesnar a run for their money. If you gave them 4 minutes and 30 seconds, they'd figure out something to do too.
Dude, when Crockett was hot, holy shit. Like, the feeling on these shows is, I think it's basically unmatched, to be honest. I really do. I think, and I'm not an expert. Next time we have Charles on, we'll have to ask him. But, like, of what I've seen, hot Crockett is a different proposition to almost anything else in terms of crowd reaction, right? Like, that energy, that raw emotion you hear in the crowd, it's just like, it's overwhelming.
One of the early Great American Bashes. There's a match where I think it's Dusty and Nikita against Tully and Arn, or like some combination of that. And there's this part in the match where JJ goes to get in the ring and Dusty comes and gives him the old bionic elbow, and JJ falls back on the middle rope and he's like a fucking turtle on his back. And they cut to like this like wide shot of the arena, and it just looks like pandemonium. Like the people are going nuts. And, Dusty clearing the ring to show people like grown men and women jumping up on their feet. Yeah, it was a different beast, like altogether. And the whole thing of we get it a little bit here in this match too. It's so weird. It was such an organic thing, but those Crockett WCW crowds, when the babyface was really firing up on a comeback with punches, the whoo, like the crowd would just somehow make the impact sound, the blow. It's rewatching this shit. It feels like magic, man.
It definitely does. Windham would stand alongside Lex Luger a few times, honestly. They do it they do it before, get my years confused, they do it before the actual run that leads to the turn, because Luger turns on him initially, I believe. Yeah, exactly. And we'll close this act with the Windham heel turn as he joins the Horsemen, with a really memorable angle with the hand out the window and all that good stuff. Very, very fun. And let's talk about some other matches, call out some matches. Oracle, you mentioned some of the WWF stuff. Any highlights you'd like to recommend, mate?
Yeah, there's a Dick Murdoch match from early '85 that's really good. Singles match. There's a U.S. Express versus a couple of U.S. Express versus Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff matches, including one where I think Barry runs the razor and bleeds, and it's really fucking awesome. There's also a couple of really good matches against the Dream Team of Greg Valentine and Bruce Beefcake, where the Hammer and Barry getting some slugfest and shit. So
that sounds awesome. Yeah.
Those there's about 4 or 5 of those all together between both those pairings that are definitely well worth the time.
Oracle, what's your thesis on the Dream Team? Because we've talked about how much we love the Bulldogs match and whatnot. Was Ed Leslie any good, or was he just in the right situation there?
So based off of what I've seen in recent times, Brutus Beefcake was pretty damn over as a babyface in the ladies, but as a Dream Team itself, that team is like actually really fucking good. Beefcake is like, I wouldn't call him green. He's like a step above that. He's just kind of there for the ride. But they have a bunch of good matches with a bunch of teams, man. I mean, they're
you think he helped the Heat then for the matches at the very least, right?
Yeah. And what I'll say about Brother Butai is that when he turns face in '87, he is incredibly over.
Yeah.
His matches are always at minimum entertaining.
You're right. Yeah.
And I actually think Brutus is perfectly fine until the parasailing accident. And when he comes back after that, he's very, very, very bad.
One of the worst wrestlers ever. Yeah,
but up through from like 87 to 90, he's a pretty good like show opener babyface.
I want to say there's some like I want to say there's an NBC match with Savage. I remember being like blown away how much I liked it on a Saturday night.
There's a match with Ted DiBiase where they Ted riles the crowd up and they trash the ring the entire match. It's awesome.
My goodness, there you go.
Yeah, like it's amazing. Like the fans are literally pelting the ring with trash the entire time. It's amazing.
Insane. We have to call it out. Obviously, we just mentioned it. If anyone's looking to Google it or whatever, it's the January 24th 87 edition of Worldwide. It could be listed as 1/2087, depending on whether they go air date or tape date. But that, Crockett Cup, Battle of the Belts, those Flair matches are a must. The Midnight stuff with Garvin is really good. He and Garvin's a team that I think most people just like kind of gloss over, and I get it. And another one that I think is like grown in reputation, which I think I saw Donnie post about recently, is the Puerto Rico match with Funk. From
oh yeah, that match is great. That match is awesome.
86, I reckon. Yeah. 86. So that's a few things that made it to me. Any others boys want to call out for Act 1 here?
He has a really good match with Bam Bam Bigelow at Starrcade '88.
He does.
He does. Most certainly does. Yeah. He that was two of the most graceful like athletes, right, in pro wrestling. Like just two guys that had no right to move the way they did at their sizes, respectively.
Especially at that point of Bam Bam, man.
Yeah, he's like he has so much, like, it's ridiculous to call it baby fat, but he's still so young there, you know? Like, he hasn't even got, like, that kind of, he hasn't even got that density of, like, an older, more gruff guy, you know? He looks like he's just still filling out almost, which is hilarious because he's, like, 350, 400 pounds. It's insane. Physical freak, obviously. That's very, very fun. Is that the main ones that come to mind for us, boys, for Act 1, do we think?
Yeah, the Widow. Yeah, there was a match with Tito Santana. I want to say that was good during the Widowmaker run. But like, if we're going, since we're putting that in, very brief. And shout out to Rob Naylor. His one of his lost white whales was the penciled in Bret Hart versus Widowmaker Barry Windham match that Barry left. What is it you said? The Mercurial. Barry left town before that could happen. Yeah.
He sure did. Let's talk about that, folks. So he joins the Horsemen, and many people, and I'm not thrilled with this because I know Ole was not a particularly charming individual, but
he's the shit.
I do think the original Horseman is the Horseman. To me, that's the Horseman. But I think over time, the Windham Horseman does, I think because they're going to be put in the Hall of Fame, like, it seems like that's like the accepted Horseman now among young folk, maybe. Which, let me be clear, great fucking Horseman. I'm not downgraded. I don't know. Ole's promos were, my goodness, you know.
So is that when you close your eyes and think about the Four Horsemen, it's the original lineup that you see?
It is, yeah, because again, I'm not trying to endorse the gentleman behind the gimmick or the act, but Ole's promos, I'm a huge mark for him as a personality. Like, dude, when you have listen, Barry Windham could talk, but on Tully, Rick, and Ole. Like, they're all incredible promos. All of them. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was different. The Hall of Fame version with Barry is second, right? I think it's fair to say. Because, like, after that, what would be your next point of call, really. I guess Luger, right? But yeah, I think Flair and Arn always talk about like the Windham group was the best working group they had because Ole was such a miserable fuck when and he was older. So when they wanted to shine babyface out, Ole would be like, "I'm good."
Man, I've gotten to them playing some of those old interviews with Ole on the Complete Hulk Hogan. It was just like, couldn't work. And yeah, but he drew money. Oh, then you must know more than me,
What a lunatic. Nonetheless, he's heading off again, folks. He drops the US title, and he heads to the WWF for the aforementioned Widowmaker run, which is halted suddenly by a counterfeiting scandal these families embroiled in. He was not part of this scandal legally, and stressed many times he was innocent. I'm going to take his word for it, but it forced him out of the WWF, so he just leaves suddenly.
Blackjack Mulligan did like time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a real chance he was actually innocent because it's professional wrestling. You kind of go, But they tried to get him involved in it, and he said he was sincerely innocent. So he got out. He wasn't involved.
At the press conference announcing the formation of the UWF, Herb Abram announced that Mulligan was going to be the booker while he was in prison.
Yeah. So yeah, the Widowmaker run is very, very short-lived, and he heads back to All Japan, and there he teams with Dustin Rhodes, who is billed as Dusty Jr., and they wrestle names such as Kobashi, Jumbo, and Towai. Which
this was not long after Dustin and Kendall had a tag team, right?
I believe so, yeah. This tour concludes with, to be honest, a really disappointing Windham Jumbo Triple Crown title match, which I've seen. I remember being like, when you see a video on your YouTube suggesting, you're like, holy shit, and you watch it and go, that's why no one talks about it. Like, it kind of bummed me out how much I didn't like it. Even it's bad, it's just nothing, really. But he does that, and then his story is that Jim Herd called him while he was in Japan and called him a motherfucker and said, what the fuck are you doing? You loser piece of shit. Why are you in Japan? And Barry Windham said, okay, give me a 3-year deal. 2 years at 300 and then the 3rd year at 400. And Jim Herd went, cool, I'll send the contract. And Barry said,
hi, this is Jim Herd. What the fuck are you doing?
He immediately,
Barry,
because I'm trying to make a pizza. I'm trying to make a pizza.
Barry's like a pretty pizza.
He immediately made the deal, and Barry was like, fuck, I should have asked for more. Because he said Jim was just, Jim Herd's range of, not even a range, his reputation has been pretty consistent among the boys, sadly. But Barry co-signed that and basically said he didn't like him very much. So, yeah. He's back in WCW, he's back in the Horsemen, he has a 3-year deal. And that brings us to his conflict with Flyin Brian, May 19th.
Very questionable haircut he's rocking here. This wasn't the best look.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, before we get into this next happening here, do you have any advice for the Grinners watching at home that are enjoying this and haven't acted upon that yet?
Yeah, if you're having a good time so far, you go ahead and smash that like button.
That has to be bingo for someone, I feel like. We're leaning at an hour. That has to be. Has to be. We'll see.
Also, Perk Shirai in the chat had an unbelievable Simpsons reference to those who get that, so I needed to acknowledge that, much like my tribal chief.
There you go. So, May 19th, 91, the original Super Brawl, Flyin Brian, Barry Windham, tape fist. This match is like 6 minutes long. It is double juice. It is frenetic. It is chaotic. Oracle, you fought for it. Tell the people about it.
Yeah, man. I love this match. This match still kicks ass. This was a really awesome rivalry in the first half of 91. They had a great feud, bunch of great TV matches and tag matches, and this was sort of the culmination of it. And so of course, it's a tape fist match, so they, they've got their fists taped up, which I always appreciate because it's so simple, right? They do sort of lock up and stuff at first, but it's not like annoying, you know what I mean? And very quickly things become chaotic when Brian Pillman legitimately potatoes Barry Windham in the face as hard as he can. And like tries to bust him open, and it's fucking awesome. And then they start brawling around ringside, and Barry does a great spot where he grabs Pillman by the hair and drops him throat first and face first onto the guardrail. And Barry, there's this great shot right afterwards where Barry goes back in the ring, he's busted open, and he does the and he's fucking bleeding, and Pillman starts bleeding, and they start beating the fuck out of each other, and they start throwing chops and shit, and at one point, I can't remember who does it. I think it's Pillman, like kicks Barry in the face with his heel of his boot. Like, I don't know. This match is fucking awesome. And it's like an old school brawl, 6 minutes, exactly what you needed to get out of it. They both bleed. I did get a kick out of Barry, like, cheating to win, even though it's a fucking tape fist match.
Yeah.
He low blows Pillman and hits the superplex for the win. This match fucking rules. I'm glad that I was able to convince you guys to put this on here because
it's awesome.
My two favorite Barry Windham matches from this era are this one and the next one we're about to talk about. And this match is just a hell of a brawl, hell of a fight, and a great example of how great Barry was as in this period, and how he had become a full-on great worker at this point overall as a pro wrestler in the ring, everything. And it also highlights how great Pillman was as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Just an awesome feud and a really awesome match.
I've always liked this match. My issue with this match always was divorcing what it is from what it could have been with, like, I'm not this guy usually, bro. If they had 3 or 4 more minutes. Whoa, because like the pace is incredible, but they legitimately have like 6 minutes here, and they get double juice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they just had 10, holy shit! Because Pillman's great, and this version of Pillman to me is like by far the best, like fiery babyface Brian Pillman. But Windham is just on one here, and that's where we go back to the word mercurial. Like, I think Windham's consistently good in these years, but on some nights he would just be like the best wrestler on the show, wouldn't he? Like just on like sort of just cause. And he gets really into this, and he's just like, man, is he fired up. It really, really stands out. The intensity, the physicality, that roar that you mentioned. Some signature Barry Windham imagery, if you ask me. Alex, hell of a shootout.
Yes, great. Dusty's looking resplendent at ringside, by the way. I always forgot about that era where he'd wear the button-up shirt with the chains and then the leather jacket and then a ball cap on top of it. Just looking fantastic here. We already called out the questionable Barry Windham haircut here, but yeah, it's just a great, like, to the point. Dude, that fucking top rope punch Pillman lands to the outside is so sweet. That got a clap for me, like watching it on TV. Barry, I mean, their punches look fantastic. Barry has always had a great working punch, and that's kind of obviously what they work around here. I think it's kind of easy to lose sight of how athletic Brian Pillman was because it made me laugh. It still does. The idea that, like, we've talked about this with Brett and Shawn before, them being the little guys. Brett and Shawn Michaels were not little, little fellas in the ring. Brian Pillman isn't Carmelo Hayes. Like, he was 6 foot, like 230, like, and some of the stuff he's doing there, kind of flying around the ring, no pun intended. I think it's kind of easy to lose sight of how, like, because now it really feels like everyone just thinks of Loose Cannon, right? Like, that's what everyone kind of defaults to. And and you watch him here and how good he is, and like his selling, and I hate that getting sympathy from the crowd, but he really was like a extension or like a heir apparent, I think, in many ways to like Ricky Morton's style of babyface selling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of on display here. And yeah, Barry's a fucking asshole, and he's such a dick because he like Oracle called out, he's got him in this, he can do anything, but he still has to fucking hit him in the balls before he wins them, and that's how he can win the match here. And they really put over the superplex on the commentary, and that's obviously something that comes back up in incredible fashion in the third act. But this is great. This is like, for me, like, there's in wrestling, one of my favorite things is a mid-card feud with stakes. and that just always seems kind of rare. And even more rare, like a mid-card cage match that actually is warranted. Baby, you got me hook, line, and sinker on something like that.
Yeah.
And so the idea of like this mid-card feud that require like these guys fucking hate each other and need the tape fist, and then to go out there and actually deliver and what the gimmick of the match is, it's just punching each other. Yes, this is fantastic professional wrestling. And for anyone who hasn't seen this, listening to this right now, it is on YouTube. Go watch it. It is wonderful. I'm a huge fan of this match.
Yep, absolutely terrific. You mentioned, that type of babyface Pillman was, and that's why Flair loved working so much, right? He was like, I wonder, so who would be the last babyface of that ilk that Flair was attached or was drawn to? Maybe actually it was Eddie, probably actually.
He liked Eddie. I was about to say
Yeah.
he actually did like Eddie in 95, 96. He
that would be the last one, probably, right?
Yep.
That's interesting. The other thing that stood out here, you mentioned the cheating thing. That's Arn Anderson always talks about this, and I think it's so. I think now there's so much cheating done, and no one even knows why they're doing it. Arn Anderson always would say you can get so much heat out of cheating when the audience knows you don't need to.
Oh yeah,
It's it's one thing to be a pussy who needs to cheat to win. It's another to be such a horrible operator that I'm gonna cheat just cause I can do it. Fuck it, what are they gonna do? Disqualify me? I got it figured out. It's just so great, and it fits Windham's demeanor especially because he's not. It's interesting. Windham's a badass, but in the Pillman stuff, he's also willing to be a little bit of a pussy when it gets turned around on him. Sometimes, in WarGames, he's screaming, isn't he? He's please get him away from me. There's so much to take from him as a heel here because he's frantic. There's a real urgency to him in this run. I feel like it's wild. Yeah.
There's also the "oh fuck you" moment of after I talked about that punch off the top rope and Barry's bleeding, when he kind of shoves Pillman off the stage into the guardrail and he's no longer on the defense. Then he's like, ah, it's you bitch.
Yeah. That feels like a moment of a guy who's the wounded animal who's been cornered is fuck it, I'm gonna fight. It feels like it's awesome. Tremendous stuff, Bobby. Had you seen this before, and what did you make of it, mate?
I had not. I thought it ruled, double juice, like you guys said. The top rope punch was awesome. Barry throwing him from the stage of the barricade without really even looking, just kind of throwing him down there and hoping it worked out was tremendous. Just a hell of a time. And I'm with you. I wish it was a couple minutes longer. I think it really could have used it, especially considering how the show had gone up until then, which we have something from Dave about that.
Oh, no.
Oh, baby.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. Baby.
That's got to be bingo, by the way. That has to be, right? The Dave fucking excerpt. Go for it, Bob.
Barry Windham pinned Brian Pillman with a superplex at 6:08 in a tape fist match. Give Dusty credit for this. The Oz skit was really a turn-off live, and the show was in the toilet at this point. This match, which was almost guaranteed to be good, took the show right out of the toilet and I guess all the way to the sink. They were still in the bathroom until the tag title match. This was a great match while it lasted, but definitely too short for these two. 3 1/4.
What the fuck?
Hey, took it to the sink, though. That's good.
That show is there's so many matches on that show, and all of them are short until the final couple, it's...
Is that that's Flair Fujinami, right?
Yeah. But it's obviously the match we'll most remember is Steiner's and Luger and Sting.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Flair and Fujinami is... when was the last time you watched that match?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, 20 years ago.
Dude.
It's not good.
It is I don't even dislike it because I like watching them work, but it feels like you're watching Flair have a nervous breakdown in the ring. The crowd's so quiet, and when the crowd's quiet, what Flair does, he just starts screaming and shit. He just is yelling, and they're just sitting there watching this match where he's a babyface because he's American. They don't know Fujinami. It's so fucking weird. I recommend people watch it. Just if you're a lunatic like us and that stuff intrigues you, Flair talks a lot about the lack of confidence. That match, you actually really see him desperately try to get the people to engage with a match they don't give a fuck about, and he's losing it out there. It's
God.
just screaming he's just losing his mind.
You remember when he inducted
match ain't much either, to be honest. What's up, Alex?
When Flair inducted Fujinami in the Hall of Fame, he's like, "It pains me because I love Muda, but he was the greatest Japanese wrestler of all time."
So my understanding is, because we watched it recently, and I think Hudson in the chat told me, the Showcase 2K match is actually the Tokyo Dome match, which is really weird. 'Cause that's a New Japan match, technically.
That's right.
So-
that was after Fujinami got in the. I remember buying that game because Fujinami got in the Hall of Fame, and so they needed to find a way to shoehorn him into the video game.
It's
But
just,
you know what fucking sucks is they didn't do that. How fucking stupid do you have to be as a company to get Jushin Liger in your Worked Hall of Fame and not get merchandising rights for that fucking dude?
Yeah, that has to have been a serious. They have to have wanted it because the fella at Mattel, Bill McKinnor, I believe his name is.
Mhm.
I apologize. Yeah, he absolutely has to be a Liger mark. Like, look at what he's done with the Muto license.
Yeah, and just the idea of like Liger in the video games and shit. Yeah, it's admissible.
Yeah, interesting. We always
Sorry,
say
I'll
it,
get
dude. It's
another
like
Ed
that.
Leslie figure.
That Tokyo Dome match is so weird because it's like aired on WCW pay-per-view on tape delay. It's been on New, like, I don't know if it ever appeared on the Flair DVDs. Like, I don't know, because those shows are weird, right? Some of those New Japan WCW shows have been on, like, WWE DVDs. Very odd. So, yeah, there you go. It's supposed to be in the Ray Showcase, still fell through. There you go.
For shame.
There you go. Okay, Matt. Aforementioned chat Matt has been a member for an entire year and says a year of grinning. So I'm so grateful for this awesome community and hours of great content. I hope you enjoy it. Sorry, I hope you enjoy the bingo. I want to stress again, chat Matt set that up, so please thank him if you guys are playing along.
It's awesome.
And he said, shout out for Harv for gifting my sub. How great is that? Gifted a sub and just couldn't quit us. Just said, shit, I'm stuck with this now. I'm gonna stick around for a year and make a bingo card.
Got in those veins, baby. That's what we do.
I feel like there's just so much. So once you start watching it, you just go, fuck, I'm stuck with these arseholes. I get it. I've been there with other things. It's what we do, right? What we do.
What we do.
What we do.
When you get in one of those runs with the Lapis fam where they just have you, you know?
Oh,
just
yeah.
go, what's the next one I'm listening to? And you go, fuck, I need to listen to something else, man. All right. Where are we at here? We're talking about Flyin Brian. God love him. What a match. Awesome. Okay, so.
Oh, real quick, Oracle, did you catch Jim Ross shoehorning in the Ed Block Courage Award lore in this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The Ed Block Courage Award.
I love him and Dusty so much, dude. I don't care. I don't care what the sheet said about Dusty's commentary. Give me JR and Dusty every day of the week. And I'm happy.
Dude,
I don't
Dusty
care.
has an awesome line in this in the opening exchange when Pillman like pushes Barry back to the ropes and Barry's trying to get a clean break or some shit, and he's like, he says something about the rules, and Dusty goes, "It's a tape fish match, baby. The rules left yesterday."
I get why people were tired of him because they'd heard him so much over the like. As someone that's watching the hindsight, I think he's so fun on commentary. Like, he's just got great energy. You know, sometimes he buries shit, but I like that, to be honest. Like,
He got a bicycle.
Right, exactly. Yeah, go really.
When he pops for shit, yeah, it's like the Don West thing. When he like marks out for something, it comes across as genuine because it usually is.
Yeah, and I also
He laid his old tight ass out.
We always talk about HBO boxing, Alex. Like, I thought it was godly when Big George would just bury a fight and said the guy sucked, or like, honestly, Larry did it more than he did. But the point is, like, I kind of doubt I kind of hate the idea that like commentators have to be like cheerleaders, you know? Like, I don't know, and it can hurt your credibility sometimes. It definitely hurts Dusty's credibility the way he puts over Oz on this show, but that's another topic for another day. Nonetheless,
God, I forgot this is Oz. I can't be Oz. Oz is a geographical location.
WCW is in a time of change. Speaking of such, Ric Flair is about to leave, and there's poor old Barry just trying to figure out how to piece their thing together. He's in there with Luger in the vacant title match, which is just obviously like it's doomed, right? Like, I mean, they miss Flair. Flair's it's an insane situation he finds himself in, and it sets up some issues down the line. The result is Luger ultimately is a heel, and Windham becomes a babyface. He works with Dustin Rhodes. They're a tag team. Dustin, for anyone who's not, you know, kind of pieced it together, and it's pretty obvious when you watch him, like, was absolutely tasked with working in the mold of Barry Windham. Like, that was 100% the way Dustin wanted his son to work, and they were a team, and they're a really fun team. They do the angle. with the crushing of the wrist and all that good stuff, the hand, right, the cruncher. And he enters a war with the Dangerous Alliance. Oh, baby. Some great stuff, including TV title matches with Steve Austin. We'll call out some matches specifically later, but that's like the stuff that really makes up this year or so of his career. But ultimately, he turns to the dark side, folks, because in a tag match, a babyface tag title match, and Dustin actually used this finish in AEW a few years ago, and it completely, people thought it was a botch. It was sad. It's Shane Douglas and Ricky Steamboat versus Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. Tag team titles. And there's a head clash. Not a head clash, actually. There's an inadvertent low blow on a leapfrog. And Dustin Rhodes hesitates. He doesn't pull the trigger. No matter what Barry Windham says to him, he won't capitalize on his fallen friend. And Windham says, enough with this loser shit, I'm done. And just goes off. Turns heel. That's the November 92 Clash. And launches what is, I think, my favorite Barry Windham era. Man, from a total package point of view, it's as good as he ever was. I'm not in love with the Muto match where he wins the big gold, but I love the arm match. Barry Windham with the big gold was an overdue sight, but unfortunately, as we know, it wasn't really the world title, which kind of is it's kind of the thing that makes this so Barry Windham, right? Like, as cool as he looked with that belt, he's not really the world champion of WCW because obviously the belt had been a complicated issue. He defends it, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, what was you going to say, man?
No, just help me out. Why was it called the NWA title?
So, this is before they go to the International. It was actually the NWA title. So, in that sense, he won the real belt, but the issue is it isn't the top belt in WCW at the time. They restart the lineage after Flair leaves in the G1 final in 92. Flair and Chono, right? Then they get it back in the States when Muto drops it to Windham at Super Brawl. So Windham is the NWA champion. Flair, when he beats Windham, is also the NWA champion. When Rick Rude wins the belt, the NWA say, no, thank you, we're out. And then it has to become the WCW International title. Does this make sense? I know there's a lot of words I just said there.
Because the WCW title in this era is that one I always think of that Vader had. The one with
Vader title.
Yeah. Okay. So this isn't does this follow, if you look at the lineage of the license plate NWA title, is Barry Windham, is he that champion during this? Is that in the lineage?
He should be, yes.
Okay.
Because the lineage picks back up in August 92, and then he wins it in February 93. So he should be.
Okay.
Which,
also,
listen, counts for something, right? But
yeah. I was going to say I should just go ahead and out myself here. I like the Muta match. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just fucking long.
it is.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I know you're pretty bullish on a few of those longer early 90s WCW matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you being high on the is it On and Roma and Nasties, that one?
Yeah.
It's
Interesting. Yeah, there's some stuff from that time period that I'm into, but anyway, thank you for bringing me up to speed because I know it gets real confusing in 94 also. So
yes. For anyone wondering why it's so confusing, when Flair left, he left with a big gold. Actually the belt. It complicated matters considerably.
I love that story he tells too of what is it, $25,000 deposit or whatever on the belt.
Yeah.
Called back, I need my deposit, and he said Jim Herd said go stick it up your ass, and so.
And we have to paint a picture because this is important, really important. Barry Windham's career is about to take a serious turn, and we really need to be clear about the outline of here what happens, because this is fucking brutal. Barry Windham is the poor fella who has to lose the match for the vacant WCW title that's a new belt. It ain't even a real belt, in fact, was it, at the time? It was just they had that fucking makeshift deal for Luger. He does that. He turns babyface. He gets basically put back in the mid-card with Dustin, if we're being real, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. He climbs his way out of it. He turns heel. He's a main event heel. He wins the NWA belt, which, while it's not the top belt, it still matters, as we just mentioned. And who comes back? Ric Flair. And so his entire reign, it's going to Ric Flair. It's obvious it's going to Ric Flair. So he does all that for naught, ultimately. And on June 16th, 1993, he wrestled Too Cold Scorpio in what I believe is maybe the finest night of his career from a performance point of view. not saying it's better than the Flair matches. It ain't. I'm saying I don't know if he's ever better than this night. Clash of the Champions. This is on YouTube too, so you guys can watch this. We'll talk about the match in a second. This match is like, this is his last great singles match, dude. This is like really the end of it. Like he gets hurt the next month, and he's never the same. This is insane.
What's the injury after this? Because the next year he comes. I mean, fat piece of shit, so no judgment. But he comes back pretty thick the next year.
Yeah, he tears his knee in the match with Flair, and he gets it rebuilt. Like the entire knee gets rebuilt, is from what I understand. He comes back by his own admission, to put your point, big. He don't wear a knee brace because his surgeon was like, see how you feel. And he goes out there and he's 5 minutes into wrestling Flair in his comeback match and he tears his knee again. And that's it. That's the end. Like, that's the end.
Yeah.
You know?
That's Slamboree 94. Right?
Yeah. That's he has matches after that. We're going to cover some of them, but like that's the end of Barry Windham as like a premier, like star.
He was Colonel Robert's boy that night. Here it comes, Barry Windham.
Yeah. And we'll talk about more in a second, but that's like the Hogan stuff too, where they like tease Hogan, which we'll talk about. But but it just makes it so bittersweet because this is as good as he ever was, and this is the end of the story really in terms of him as a premier worker. This presentation, I know Buffer fucked everything up, but man, it's just cool. I'm sorry. It just is. I don't care. Windham, the cocky veteran, Scorpio, hope spots, babyface, innovation, some really creative stuff, which was obviously kind of his calling card. I love this match. Bob, you would have seen this in your 93 journey. What a fucking wrestling match.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I really, up to this point in 1993, I think these are probably the two best wrestlers in WCW.
Yeah.
Too Cold Scorpio's ridiculous. Windham, we talked about him at length already. Yeah, and it's really, they keep it pretty simple. Like Barry's just kind of dominating him and he just can't put him away. And then Scorpio gets a big comeback towards the end. And then, Barry takes care of business. But like the way they execute it and just kind of featuring the strengths of both guys. And it just, it's exceptional. I'm glad we picked it because it's a happening.
You mentioned the way he puts him away, Bobby. I always love the vibe that Windham plays with his food, and he's kind of mad at himself when he wins in the song. He's kind of like, he knows he kind of played with fire, and that kid, because for anyone who's not familiar with Too Cold Spot on the card, he's like in a tag team with Bagwell, and they're like just like a babyface tag team. They're not like, they're not really like, he's push, but they're not like top guys, like,
it's not like the Road Warriors or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So like, Windham in this match like transforms the way Scorpio feels in the show, and obviously it goes nowhere because we love WCW. But on this night, Windham basically said to him, like, look what we can do here with this guy, and like man, the crowd is so into this. They love Windham too, this crowd. They absolutely loved him, didn't they, this Norfolk crowd. Alex, my goodness, what a wrestling match.
Yeah, this is outstanding. And to your point of what this match accomplishes, they're very into Barry in this match, but when Too Cold works his comeback, they're wanting him to take home the big gold. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about of Buffer fucking things up. We do get to hear Michael Buffer say, the discs that don't miss. So it's fucking worth it for me. I did not remember. I remembered, obviously, everybody, here comes Too Cold Scorpio. That song. I didn't realize Barry Windham got one of those where the lyrics are about Barry Windham.
Yeah. Listen, smoking and do that shit.
Yeah. I'm talking about Barry Windham.
That's the only thing my brother he thinks he never got Barry Windham and he just knows the song. That's the only thing he knows. And I'll like always put him over and he's like, oh, he sucks. I like the song though.
Love it. Vibes, man. Just absolute vibes in this of. We've talked about this particular Clash of the Champions, and what episode was that? When we did the main event of this?
It was
it the Arn episode?
Would have to been on, yeah. I think so. Which is another one of my favorites. God, what a cool show.
Yeah, and there is fixation from Jesse. Why is it called the Scope? The Norfolk Scope. He does have a great line in this when Barry's just piecing up Too Cold. He goes, after this, they're going to have to change his name to the Out Cold Man. Or Out Cold Scorpio, something like that. Anyway, Barry here in the early going. Shout out to Arn. does the fake punch, but instead of he fakes him out with the punch where Scorpio ducks, but instead of fucking hooking him with the DDT, he lands a fucking Jose Aldo style knee that drops Too Cold. And the crowd, to your point, like there's like dudes, like mid-20s guys like high-fiving each other and just like, yeah. And so Barry controls this early going. And this, Joe, I don't think you're too far off base in saying this is like his masterpiece, because even the moments of relief that Too Cold gets early before the big comeback, there's a point where he takes him down maybe for like a 1 count or something, but the way Barry sits up and looks around like he's, that, okay, fuck, I can't let that happen again. Like he's just performing in a different stratosphere on this night. Bobby, did you appreciate the jokes that Shivani and future governor were making about Michael Jordan's gambling? They were asking who he had money on for the night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good bit. I appreciate
that. Beautiful drop kick in this. And then Too Cold's comeback is just Too Cold Scorpio. We're not telling tales at recess here. And obviously this is about Barry Windham. Too Cold, especially in this era, everyone, I think, rightfully talks about the 450 because that was pretty revolutionary for the time period on television. But, like, he's a damn good wrestler. And I think we've talked about him extensively because we've done some matches from ECW that he was involved in, and I know we've kind of given him his flowers, as people say. But this is a match that could have just everyone there, with all due respect to these guys, were there to see Ric Flair's comeback, and they were there to see that main event in the arena. Maybe not on television because the ratings tell a different story, but these guys could have both easily have just coasted through this match. And I love Barry Windham, but you can find plenty of examples of Barry just coasting. And Too Cold also. But they chose to have like a career best effort from both of these guys. And this is like Too Cold's night in many ways. And like you said, smart people would have looked at this and go, wait, I think we have a main event babyface on our hands right here. But it leads to the eventual Too Cold's got the comeback. The crowd's at a fever pitch. He goes for a slingshot, and Barry catches him with an uppercut on the way down to rock him and set him up for, I guess he was using a leaping DDT for a finish at that point in time. But the detail on the finish, and this is what separates the men from the boys in professional wrestling. Throughout the match, Barry starts. He's just got the forearm on the chin pin, no hook in the legs. Too Cold kicks out. Eventually hooks the leg at one point when he thinks he has it, he kicks out. So on the finish here, hooks the leg and grapevines the other one inside with his leg to make sure there's no way Too Cold's kicking out. A master at work here. And this match is, I think I saw Dave gave it 3 3/4 or something kind of criminal in my opinion. Like this is fantastic. This is, I had seen this before, but it might have only been one time I've seen this. And so this is one of those watchings for this show that, like, not to be so dramatic, but like literally reinvigorates my love of wrestling because I get so like burnt out on the modern iteration that I watch something like this. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it can be. And so this match fucking rules.
I actually think this plays better now because it's so direct. And like he gives Scorpio a lot, but never in too extended a burst to ruin what they're going for. Like I think it plays better now because this is such a contrast now. Whereas I think then the observer ring, this isn't mean being a prick. This actually was like they were trending more towards those extended finishing runs, right? So like this at the times were like it was really good, but it was kind of. I think now this plays better because we're used to the extended finishing runs. It's like holy shit, they go home. Like it's. Yeah, I love this match.
There's like no point of it where it like there's no part that feels like, oh, this is this part of the match. Like, like we always talk about, like RVD is a good example of this is this part of the match. Now, There's none of that in this. It's just this kind of like this guy getting the shit beat out of him, finds like a door to escape through, and then can't close the deal. It's just great stuff.
I'd say when Jesse wanted to, he could really be good at the like sports title match when he wanted to.
Yeah.
Didn't always want to. When he did, he was really good on this match. And I got the sense, Oracle, I think Barry Windham was working with a chip on his shoulder here because they shoot the angle that night for the Flair match, and he knew. He has to have known. I mean, he seemed like he was working with a little bit extra intent. Oracle, what did you make of this one rewatch, mate?
Yeah, man. This is this is one of the mini matches that I discovered via the WCW Smart's Choice poll mentioned 3,478
Got to be a
on
bingo.
the
Has to be.
5 years of the Grin. But man, loved it then, love it now. Love the look of the Norfolk scope. Love seeing the fans react. Like Alex pointed out, like the two like guys in their mid-20s like popping for Barry, and then you see like this like row of kids like popping for Too Cold, and like this sort of rumble in the crowd and this sort of just electricity in the crowd just ramps up when Too Cold makes his comeback as the match goes on and on. Barry's offense is so varied here when he's in control. He's so smooth. He's so confident, so cocky, but also badass at the same time. He has so many awesome, just like cool offensive moves that look really impactful and well crafted, well hit. Even today, in 2026, Too Cold's aerial assault and offense is still spectacular and still innovative now.
I agree.
His fucking little twisting splash that he does when he blocked the superplex looks awesome.
Yep.
Like that pops me now today. Partly because Too Cold's such a big motherfucker, right? Like he's a big dude. And of course his slingshot 450 is fucking awesome.
So good.
An amazing kick out, amazing timing on Barry's kick out, on Barry's part to kick out after the slingshot 450. Tremendous moment in the match. Awesome finish with the uppercut, the nasty uppercut, the leaping DDT for the win. Barry like just looking mean into the fucking camera, just like ready for this Flair match, and sadly it being basically the peak of Barry Windham. This match. But man, this match kicks ass. One of my all-time favorite matches ever, to be honest. I'm with Alex. This thing's like what, 4.25? Probably.
That's awesome.
Like that. Yeah, like this is. I mean, if we're gonna throw out the stars, right? Like,
Throw 'em out, baby.
I'd say it's 4. Probably 4.25. So 4.5 even, maybe, to be honest.
There you go. It's a beauty. Yeah. What about? Go for it, Alex.
I was just gonna. Oracle was going, so he'll appreciate my lasting image of Too Cold Scorpio, as great of a wrestler as he is, will always be. Was that 2019, 18 when he was in SCI, and we were all sitting by the pool, and he I guess just got to the hotel, and he comes by with his bags and shit. He's got a cigarette in his mouth with an ash about that long hanging on the tip of his lip, and we all start chanting Too Cold, Too Cold, and he goes, ah.
I know, folks, that for our younger grinners, there's like a new thing people are experiencing, which is like the post-boom wrestling, which is, I think this show gives an interesting opportunity to talk about something for a moment. So, folks, this is like the lowest rated Clash of Champions ever. I'm going to give you the card. Ron Simmons over Dick Slater with Paul Orndorff. Lord Steven Regal over Bagwell. Windham over Scorpio. Rick Rude, Vader and Sid over Davey Boy, Dustin and Sting.
That match is fun too.
Arn Anderson and Ric Flair opposite the Hollywood Blondes. That lineup was the worst rated Clash of the Champions. Sometimes, brother, people just ain't want to watch wrestling. It is what it is. I know they blame the Blondes and that was their way of putting the heat on someone, but
people don't understand that at the same time WWF couldn't fill out a high school gymnasium in 1983. And of course WCW was in some ways doing probably worse than they were.
Definitely,
at least certainly ratings wise.
House shows, dude. WCW was
holy
shit.
They're getting 600 people and I
was about to say triple digits. Yeah,
it was really bad. Business was just. People don't fully realize how bad the business was in from 91 to basically early 94, and how big of a deal it was. Not to jump around, but Hogan coming to WCW was honestly kind of the turning point, and even that was very slow. Because Hogan and Flair did good business in '94, but
they did. It led to Butterfly Effect, yeah.
Yeah.
Hear more about that on Grim Infinite Possibilities, what if Hulk Hogan didn't join WCW.
There you go.
Which is still one of my favorite things we've done on productions. We recorded
What
the Paul Lee
day
one.
did that come out?
Something happened, I can't remember. Maybe holiday or something. We recorded a Paul Lee episode of that, which is still coming, folks. Bear with us. It will be out
Okay, I
eventually.
thought I went insane. Like I thought that already dropped, and I just forgot about it. I was like gaslighting myself about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Rice has a notepad of all the graphics he wanted to make, and it was like 3 pages deep, and he's currently editing the One Full Sail Summer, so it's just been...
God bless.
In-
That
in
Paul Heyman
fact,
one, we went places.
Yeah.
This reminds me more. I think 93's got to be the worst year, right, for like both companies in terms
Probably,
of like overall, because it's probably worse than 92, right?
It has to be, yeah, because there's no, they have, in WWF, they have 2 stadium shows in 92.
Yeah, that's another thing.
They
too.
don't in 93.
And then,
And
and
when-
then Wembley,
Dude, you want to talk about one of the things of revisionist history that annoys the shit out of me is that 93 Oracle, that it's now acted like WrestleMania 9 was some massive triumph. And it's like, dude, they had to paper the shit out of Caesar's Palace to get 11,000 people there.
And look, I like that documentary. That was a fun little documentary that they did. But yeah, they're full of shit. Like,
of course. But we say all this to say, this shit is circumstantial. Listen to how many all-time greats are on that card that are now Hall of Famers and legends. Like, some poor fucker is going to be on top next year in the house, and they're going to get blamed for it. And it ain't going to be their fault at all. But it's just...
And I know
so
it's not a apples to apples comparison here, okay? Because I can't wait to see Contrarian Alex raise his eyebrows at this. But like, imagine like 30 years when you look at like the talent of, say, on a WWE show in the last few years or an AEW, and you go, man,
100%.
how are these people not doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the business. You know.
No, it is true though. Genuinely, I mean, maybe not Raw cards right now.
Sure, of course, and it's and the business changed so much since then, and from now until God, it might not even be here in 30 years for the best.
It's what we do.
But
we can do a more recent example. You can look at 2018 WWE cards and be like, "Holy shit!"
Or 2019 when they did like 4,000. What was it? 4,000 people or whatever for Stomping Grounds. I think it might have been a little bit more than that. But
it was less than 5 at the fucking Tacoma Dome, which I can almost see out my window.
To bring this all back around to Barry Windham,
Barons?
It is part of the reason he is somewhat lost to time among the general wrestling fan is he misses that boom, really, because he's in it, but he's not really in it, is he? You know, like, he misses once the Monday Night Wars catches fire, and then when he jumps in, it's with stuff that's not going to register much of memory outside of Rapid's crap, which more on that later. But for now, Beach Blast, Ric Flair, he gets hurt in the match, tears his knee, he's out for 9 months, returns as the mystery opponent at Slamboree. They advertise this opponent as a 6'8" man with beach blonde hair. And they basically tell the audience it might be Hulk Hogan, guys. Possibly, definitely might be Hulk Hogan. And it ain't Hulk Hogan, it's Barry Windham, who comes out there. Man, I love Barry, but he looks just...
It's just a sad sight, yeah.
He is, and he's 5 minutes into the match, and he tears his fucking knee again. And he said that, like... I forget how his explanation of, like, they put shit in his knee, like, and it was gone. So he was basically just like, his knee had nothing to hold on to. Like, all the pieces of his knee were just floating around. And he was just wrestling Ric Flair. And Rick was like, should we go home? And he was like, let's try it. And they try their best, but he's fucked, right? Like, it's just brutal. Neither of their matches are good for the reason of the injuries, those 2 matches. And he is then out for 2 years. So we're about to about what the rest of the story looks like. Before we do, let's call out some other matches. Other hits, okay, obvious ones, right? WarGames 92. WarGames 91. Which is actually, WarGames 91 is more of a Barry Windham showcase, I would say, right? Probably. Like, he's probably more central in that.
Yeah.
The Dangerous Alliance stuff, which we talk about almost in every episode because there's so many fucking greats in those matches, right? But, yeah.
I mean, every one of those matches is at least fun. Most are great.
The Austin TV title series I like a lot.
Yeah.
The Arn Anderson Big Gold match I like a lot. Wish I had a little more time, but I like it. There's color in that. It's really fun. Slamboree. 93.
What am I thinking?
Those are ones that immediately come to mind for me. Boys, what we got? This is this kind of 5-year block, I guess, here until he gets hurt.
What I'm thinking of, I'm trying to. Oh, he teams with Vader, and they take on Dustin and Sting. I like that match. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
What's the Starcade 92 match?
It's
Um,
Starcade 92 is a weird show, dude.
It is.
Doesn't he just go to the end of like Battle Bowl with Muto?
I thought he and Pillman had a tag match before he turns on him, and then he
It's,
turns on him on TV.
the Lethal Lottery match is Muta and
Well, not
Windham against
Pillman,
Pillman
but
and Too
Dustin,
Cold.
Sorry.
No, the Dustin match is on the November Clash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a heel at Starcade. He goes to the end with Muta, right? Alex,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My memory's a little bit mixed up there.
Starcade 92 is kind of tragic because like it starts with the announcement Rude's not on it, and it's just like it's fucked. Isn't it?
Other than Sting Vader, it's kind of a
That match is amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
no
yeah, it's
question.
incredible.
Yeah. So, any others, boys? Come to mind? Anything else you want to call out? That's quite a few, to be fair, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say this is the act where if you see a Barry Windham match on YouTube from this era, I'd say this is the safest
Watch
you
it.
can be to watch it. Like it's probably gonna be
91
good.
or 93.
Yeah.
Basically, from the time he comes back at Starcade 90 with that awesome street fight with Doom versus he and Flair, or he and Arn, right? It's him and Arn.
Oh my God, that match rules
Yeah.
so hard. That's the one. It's like 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one up until the match we just talked about, 2.5 years. He's great, like amazing, all time.
Absolutely. We haven't anyone win the bingo game yet, so I'm going to do something here. This could complete someone's board.
Oh baby.
Hey, Bob.
yep.
You know that little spinny high spot that Too Cold does where he kind of turns in the air? Looks a little bit Twisted Bliss, to be honest, Bob. What do you think?
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, she probably took a lot of inspiration from him. Studying the great throughout
No
her
question.
career. Yeah.
Big ECW fan.
Mhm.
I either had that was even my route, or I had Uncle Howdy. I had two ways to get to that, so hopefully someone won. Otherwise,
Uncle
that was for no. Uncle Howdy, yeah. All right. All right. So, he's out of the ring for 2 years. This blew my mind when I read about this today. He almost reunites with Rotundo in WWF as part of the Ted DiBiase faction.
Oh my God.
Oh baby.
My
And
God.
it doesn't happen because of his recovery is so
Barry
slow.
Windham.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
exactly. It wouldn't been good at all, but like, so okay, this little fantasy booking. Who could they have worked with? So let's say this would have been. It has to be 95 because he leaves in 95, doesn't he? Rotundo.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
actually,
He becomes VK Wall Street.
Who would they have had a good match with? The Smoking Guns.
No,
Smoking
Michael.
Gun?
Wall Street.
Wait, so what era are we talking about? 94?
This is like 95. This would have to be
95.
95. Yeah.
The
Luger and
million-
Bulldog.
Oh man, I gotta say, the $1 Million Corporation. Only the Vision is a worse route.
Oh,
than
it's
the $1
awful.
Million Corporation.
Yeah.
Ted was terrible at anything outside the ring. He was awful. Terrible manager,
Fucking
terrible announcer.
Nikolai Volkoff in there. Yeah. All right, so 95. Come on, we can put something good together here. I mean, the guns would probably be fun.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah. Ain't a lot, is there? Here?
Get a get a TV match with Barry against Brett with Rotundo on the outside.
Dudes of attitudes.
I would absolutely watch a late era WWF Coliseum home video Allied Powers versus Barry and Mike Rotunda. It
Yeah.
would be 1.5 stars. It would suck.
Well, that's
It
the
was
elephant
for
in the room
13
with
and a half
this, you know,
minutes.
this fantasy booking exercise. The issue is wherever we think of where Barry
2000.
was at. Like,
No.
Mike was, you know.
Oh, he was. And look,
He
Rotundo
was a
was
real
actually
sweaty
pretty
boy.
good at times in the 80s.
Yeah.
But by the time the IRS gimmick comes around, he's just,
He was never a bad wrestler. He was just
No.
fucking boring by that point. He was
Yeah.
just,
Actually,
yeah.
I actually have it. The match would be them against Kid and Razor.
That would have been really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could- well,
Yeah.
I made that up. Would have been pretty good. I just forgot my own sentiment there about
Face
Big
apparel,
Mike.
Waltman would have had a hell of a face
Yeah.
apparel.
I've heard so many great stories about Mike Rotundo that like I want to like his work more than I do. And whenever I hear the boys call him Captain Mike, because he was a producer for so many years, and then I watch him as RS and I go, oh man.
Oh, dude, imagine a Barry Taker feud. Where like Barry's got the glove on, and he's trying to choke Taker and Taker sits up.
Well,
was Barry, was the Stalker a heel or a babyface?
So, that's where we're going to anyway. So he's the Stalker after this. I guess he was a babyface.
Yeah.
You look at who he works with, like
Stalker.
Because I was going to go the same place as you. It was like, it kind of feels like it could be a Taker opponent, right? But like, yeah. Barry explained it by, he was like, Vince never forgets and I'd left him twice. So that was, he was going to fuck with me. And that was his way of fucking with him.
Because he went from Stalker to New Blackjacks, right?
Yeah, he says that, bro, this is so bad. He had one of those deals, like he wasn't on a guaranteed deal with WWF. So if he didn't work, he didn't get paid. And he says, he's like, Vince was absolutely purposefully starving me out. That's the phrase he uses. Starving me out is the phrase he uses. He says, I would just like sit at home and he would just wait. He would hope I'd quit eventually because I wasn't getting paid. So eventually they come up with the idea of the New Blackjacks. They have an idea of a rib at some point. I think it's actually before he gets even started on TV as the Stalker. And they rib him by having him wrestle Bradshaw in a dark match. And they tell him, you're going to go 8 minutes. And they never go home. The referee says, keep going. And they wrestle for 20 minutes. And he's exhausted because he's big. And he hadn't wrestled in 2 years. And they ribbed him. And he came through the curtain. And immediately, before he could even, change and shit, they were like, no, Vince wants you to do the match again. And he wrestled, what's Dirty White Boy's name? WWF name. Fuck. Dirty White Boy.
TL Hopper.
TL Hopper, yeah. You're going to wrestle TL Hopper this time. He went out and did it again. And they were like, see, you're not in shape, bro. That's awesome.
Jesus.
Could have just done to lose weight, I feel. This is a pretty sad run. Jim Cornette a couple of years ago revealed some of his road agent reports from 97, like his scouting reports, and in 97 he writes something like, I love Barry, but it's over. Like he hasn't even got any ideas for Barry. I remember hearing that and going, fuck. The New Blackjacks obviously doesn't work. He does do something beast.
I'm sorry, man. What'd you say?
No, you're good. No, go for it.
Did he have any layovers in Smoky Mountain? Did he do anything in Smoky Mountain?
I don't believe he did anything in Smoky, no, because he was signed the whole time and then hurt until it dies, I think. He does something awesome, though, in the New Blackjacks, in which he says to Vince, you're not booking us, we're not getting paid. I can get us booked in All Japan. And according to Barry, who wrestlers are liars, but he does seem to be somewhat of a straight shooter, especially in this saying, said that Vince was like, there is no way you're going to convince Bubba to use a WWF team, and if you do, you can do it, but you ain't going to be able to do it. And he just, Bubba loved him so much, he was like, sure, come on board. The New Blackjacks in the tag league. And we did one of those matches on the Bradshaw episode, right? Where they were
yeah.
Was it Hanson they worked with and someone, right?
Hanson and Bobby Duncombe was the match that we watched. I've all our research, and then someone actually confirmed it for us when we watched that episode. Windham and Bradshaw wrestled Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa, but it wasn't recorded, which is just seemed. I mean, in my head, it's like the Bret Hart Tom McGee thing. It was probably like an okay match, but just the visual of that is insane to me.
We just need to hammer home. You know the wrestling economy, the wrestling landscape. In 1997, think of where the American wrestling's at, and Vince is taking All Japan was like, good luck getting booked there as an WWF guy. Like I don't even say this as a diss because I think he's a good wrestler, but like. A few years ago, they just sent Regal's kid to All Japan, and he wrestled for the belt, just like an NXT kid. The business is so much more lopsided now, right? Even with two big companies in the States, there's nowhere near that reverence for getting booked there. It's the political elements, it's just ain't the same way. Not at all. I guess the equivalent today would be a WWE guy couldn't get booked in New Japan, but they could, couldn't they? If AJ Styles said, I want to do Wrestle Kingdom, that New Japan would go on then.
Yeah, they have Gabe Kidd as a top guy. They're pretty starved for content, so.
Take it easy. Yeah, nonetheless.
Oh, fuck. I can swear and I'm bold. Yeah.
To be fair, as the lead Good Brothers correspondent, I can't bury guys for swearing as gaijins in Japan.
Touche.
It's one
What
of
is
our
Homer?
great traditions, you know.
Homer says, "Yeah, but when I do it, it's cute." That's the Good Brothers defense.
Yeah. Do you remember when Tungalo would do it? Dude,
Oh yeah.
he would legit just scream like, "Motherfucker! Fuck you!" Just scream at the top of his lungs.
That's a story
Hilarious.
Gallows had about the first time he went over to Japan with Big KA. Like, he wasn't really sure, and they went through the curtain, and Carl just goes, "Suck my motherfucking dick."
All right. So ultimately, he's not long for the WWF once again, and he heads back to WCW. And I was talking to our friend Eva about this earlier, and I have settled on a take, and I would like to share it with you guys here as friends. When you get to a certain point in life, booking transcends good and bad. It becomes things like honorable, dignified, gutsy, manly even. I am here to propose that there is no more manly booking move in the history of wrestling. Yes, I'm saying it. Then in 1999, in the midst of strife and turmoil, going, not only are Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham going to be a tag team, we are going to present them like they're like a work rate team in 99. And we're not even gonna fucking blink. We're just gonna put them out there and go, yeah, these are two of the great wrestlers in the world. They're gonna wrestle Chris Benoit every week and they beat the shit out of each other. Now listen, the results are mixed. As I said, it transcends good and bad. But legitimately, Oracle, you can vouch. Him and Hennig, before we even get to the West Texas Rednecks, him and Hennig are legitimately framed on the show as like, well, this is surely one of the greatest tag teams ever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're just talked up about it as, and you know, they're not quite at that level, right? But I mean, it sparked some confidence back into Barry because
It did.
I mean, Barry was in no shape that he was 5-6 years before, but there was a confidence that he worked in with the 99 that he had kind of regained here.
I agree. Yeah.
Some really great matches with Benoit Malenko. There's some other really good matches on TV with that bizarre double elimination tag title tournament where the fuck they had. And then of course eventually come the early summer they develop and form the West Texas Rednecks. Which includes Bobby Duncombe Jr., Kendall Windham, who was excellent in this team. Kendall was awesome during this period. And eventually Curly Bill Virgil becomes a member of the group as well.
He does.
Yeah, Barry really really regains some of his confidence here, and it's actually pretty cool to watch. It's not the Barry Windham we all know and admire for sure, but it's someone who
it's the closest he got in years since. Yeah.
At least somewhat of a rebound, even if it's in a weird setting in a very bizarre, ridiculous circumstance. He overall has a pretty strong year in 99.
Yeah, certainly relative to where he'd been. Alex, you seem to have a question about this incarnation of Barry.
Not a question, more a comment, sir.
Okay,
having just driven through there, I can guarantee you that Sweetwater, Texas is West Texas. Kurt Hennig was from fucking Minneapolis. What the fuck is this West Texas nonsense with this guy?
He's more just their buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's baked in as Barry's tag partner, and then
because rap
he mostly just stands there. Yes, indeed. For anyone wondering the lengths they went to in this regard, they do a whole tournament, a double elimination tournament, which is part of this. Is exactly what it was. Apparently, Kevin Nash wanted to.
By the way, it makes no sense.
And to give you an idea of the extremes of their like, this is a work rate team. They wrestled Benoit Malenko for it is legitimately 20 minutes long on Super Brawl. Now, I much prefer the setup match because the TV match is actually, I think, is like much better, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
The pay-per-view match is hilariously long. Like, they genuinely just like, it was like signing two guys that were like minimum contract guys and being like, guess what, you're getting 20 shots again, brother. Go there and let it fly. Like, it's insane.
Let it rip.
I didn't even know a good comp for it today, genuinely. Like, I didn't even, because I love Kurt Hennig, but dude, by this point, Kurt is like, wow.
We talked about that when we did the episode. If I remember right, we didn't even pull the trigger on that WCW match. We just couldn't do it. It was just...
Well, he was another example of someone. The only match we could do was Benoit. Which happened to us again.
Yeah. Because the when they tried to run back him and Brett, it was just depressing in WCW.
Yeah. So we actually had a lineup change here. We'll do have the match that we actually settled on here, and then we'll just talk briefly about the one that we changed because it's coming first. August 26th, 1999, WCW Thunder. This is somehow the second match we've done on this Thunder because this show starts with a Sid. I couldn't believe that. This is a crazy match. Barry and Kendall Windham.
It's awesome.
Bobby Duncombe Jr. opposite the trio of Eddie Guerrero, Billy Kidman, and Rey Mysterio. This is Collision, baby. Let's go. They have some time to have 10 minutes. Eddie is over. We're in Texas. What a fun match. I had to make an executive decision on this. We'll talk about the other match in a moment, but Alex, I think it's worked out, right? This little lineup shift we did very late notice here.
Oh, yeah, and I know we're going to talk about the other one here in a second, but that was more of just like, I kind of always try to just throw something quirky out there, and that seemed like that. But as far
we
as
needed
like
something, didn't we? We
needed something. Court Bauer only gave us one layup. We had to find something else. But yeah, didn't even know really about this. God, what the crowd's just so into it, and they're so into the baby faces in this, and like Ray, like at the beginning of the match, is just landing these sick punches in the corner. Like I when I think of Rey Mysterio, I don't necessarily immediately go to working punch, but he's on a, like, everyone on this is just kind of cooking. And, for fucking Eddie and Ray and Kidman, there's got to be something fun about working Barry Windham that probably got him a bit riled up and excited for this, with all due respect to Kendall and Bobby Duncombe. But Barry has some moments in this that made me go, how dare Barry Windham do this in 1999? How dare he still exhibit the gas that is left in the tank? There's a part where he's getting so turned around by Rey Mysterio that he ends up just he thinks he's outsmarting Ray and doing a circle out of this lack of a better term sequence they're doing, and he's going to spin out of it. But while he turns, because Ray's tripped him up a couple times already, Ray's in the process of tagging in, I think it's Kidman. And so by the time Barry turns around thinking he outsmarted him, Kidman's there bringing the shots on him. And it's just, again, you have to be a real pervert about this shit to really acknowledge that or pay attention to that shit. But we get to the meat of the matter, the stake of the match, when we get some Eddie Guerrero versus Barry Windham hours in this thing. And when those two are trading off, it's like, well, hold on. So often, look, I think everyone on this panel can attest, 99 WCW doesn't have too many in-ring heights. And so when you go back and catch something like this, you're like, whoa, hold on a second. And they really do. It's like that thing, the flashes of brilliance, the what could have been. And I'm not even saying that Eddie Guerrero versus 86 Barry Windham. I would gladly have watched that match in 1999 with just kind of what they kind of tantalize us with here. And then, man, fucking the superplex that he gives Eddie here, the way Eddie posts and then they stall and fucking, oh man. The executive decision was the correct one in this case, because this was a borderline, I'm not going to go as far to say mind-blowing, but something I was not expecting. And
hidden gem, right?
I would gladly sign off on that expression. And yeah, it's a very good place for Barry, because short of the Benny factor, I don't know how many more Barry showcases of what he could still do in 1999 we're going to come across.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fun for a moment. What's the best version of Barry Windham, Eddie Guerrero Time Machine? I'm leaning towards the Scorpio Barry we got with Nitro Babyface Eddie is what I'm feeling, I gotta be honest. Just because size-wise, I think Barry needs to be the heel. Then again, that Barry could also work with older Eddie and more, sympathetic Eddie, right? More vulnerable Eddie. Oh,
you go there, or you go 86 babyface Barry against 05 insane heel Eddie. Yeah.
Because that Eddie was so mean, he could have pulled it off. He could have made up the difference size-wise. Right?
Yeah.
He was so vicious. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. Bobby, cool to see a good match from Thunder.
Yeah, kind of crazy, honestly. This was a hell of a time. You guys kind of called it all out. Unmasked Rey Mysterio is obviously very unsettling, but if you can look past that, it's a lot of fun. Kidman gets the shit kicked out of him a lot of the time. Eddie and Ray are in there mixing it up, and yeah, I mean, it works for what it is. And to get something like this from, first of all, Thunder, in mid to late 1999, and from Barry Windham in mid to late 1999 is very cool.
I just wish this Barry revival took place in a WCW. It was even like 10% better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if I enjoyed the vibes, like after they changed the logo and stuff, I don't even like looking at these shows. You know? Because the initial stuff with Benoit and Malenko is still like the Nitro that looks like Nitro, kind of anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a shame it worked out that way. But Oracle, I think this is a good representation of like, man, in a time where a lot of guys were phoning it in, these guys had fun with this act and tried, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, man. The West Texas Rednecks were a fun act, stupid, right? But like fun nonetheless. Rap is crap is a hilarious thing. I love that shit. It's so funny. But all these guys were were actually kind of got like a kick in their ass and ended up having a pretty good year. Kendall Windham was actually the standout. Like overall, Kendall was awesome during this run. But Barry was really good in this match. Watch him in there just fucking like bump and feed for a face shine with Ray Jr., man. And like Barry, of course, has this shirt on and he's, out of shape or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like he has like this, you can just tell it's Barry Windham again,
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the guy that we'd seen the previous 6 years off and on through injuries and different gimmicks and whatnot. But man, he's so good in this. Has a great section with Eddie. I really love the spot where they find a sort of more believable way of Eddie to hit his rope walking Rana.
Yes.
Where Eddie fights off Barry and hits his own DDT, which was cool. And that actually ends up being a transition and a spot to get the crowd back up. And then they both get back up, and Barry's selling, but he grabs Eddie's arm and puts him in an arm wringer. And then they set up Eddie's, rope walking Rana. Just details like that just you don't see anymore in wrestling. Not or at least not enough. That's just a veteran type, ring general types, cliche that shows you just how smart and how gifted of a worker Barry Windham really was. That's really a spot that really stood out to me. I think he takes like a Ray head scissors later on.
He does.
It's so fun. Like the hot stretch at the end is really chaotic and fun, kind of sloppy, but like in a fun way. I love the spot where Kidman baseball slides Hennig, and then like he punches Kurt Hennig's cowboy hat off, and like Kurt's cowboy hat's in the way, so he like throws his cowboy hat out of the way so he can start throwing fists with Billy Kidman. It's such a fun match. This was like the beginning of I think the Filthy Animals and West Texas Rednecks feud, which was basically the end of the Rednecks, I think.
Yeah.
Because Barry either gets hurt or fired or something in late September.
So there's a lot of lore about this.
Mm-hmm.
According to Mike Graham, had an interesting relationship. Had an interesting relationship with the Truth. Was one of Barry's closest friends.
True.
He claimed. I want to stress that this act was a massive ratings mover. This is his now. Listen, there is an incredible. If you've never seen Mike Graham, I can't even. There's that shoot where he talks about and he goes, Eddie Guerrero came on. They turned over. Booker T came on. They turned the channel. Benoit, and then he goes, Hogan was on. They watched him. Sting was on. They watched him. Windham, they watched him, and every time I see it, when he hits Windham, I just explode in joy. Like, the idea of, I don't listen. Mike Graham used to claim that he had like the minute by minutes on this fucking thing, so he would like map out who the ratings were, and he claims it was just a massive hit. I could see it doing okay because it was a fun act. It was fun.
It was.
Barry is of the belief the act ended because the Turner folk boy was too problematic.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole West. So it's a guilty pleasure of mine, I suppose. But
Right.
like, I like the rap versus country feud in the
It's
Summer
fun,
99.
yeah. But I get why they were
But
like,
I also
fuck.
get like, there's blatant racial, undertones and overtones, or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, depending on where they were, in the more sort of rural, rural adjacent cities in the South,
Right.
the Rednecks were quite popular, and the whether it be the No Limit Soldiers or the Filthy Animals were not. So there was obviously, because of those issues, that I can definitely see. And by that point, the standards practices stuff that Bischoff always bitches about were
standards and practices, bro.
We're definitely getting getting their hands all over, for good or worse. Perhaps in this case for the better, even though I did enjoy the group.
Yeah.
Joe, while we are talking about Bish, did you watch that Jeff Jarrett 3-parter Dark Side of the Ring?
Well, I did, yeah.
Dude, I just watched the third part today. Bischoff is like in elite form on that, of doing I don't recall what the ratings were, but I know it was the most viewed episode of Impact in the history of TNA.
I was like, I enjoyed that, but I thought it flirted with what it could have been. It had too much to cover.
Oh yeah, they tried to cram way too, like, it was trying to do the story of TNA and then also the story of Jeff Jarrett's life. Those are like two different things.
So, before we talk about the match that was cut from the lineup, we have a winner of the game of bingo that's been played tonight. Cal has won.
Baby.
I'm going to put the bingo card on the screen in a moment, but my goodness. I'm now going to read all the options Bill could have had tonight. Okay, give me a second here. This is everything you could have got on your bingo card tonight.
Amazing.
I'll try and figure out as we go which of these we actually hit. Our story begins. Matt D mention. I hear ya. Uncomfortable John Burr super chat. What's going on with the Contrarians? That'll be coming, no doubt. Alex mentions Shane and Francine. Bob isn't familiar with the wrestler beforehand. A mini segment about another wrestler. That happened. Bob, technical difficulties. Yep. Alex does an impression. Holy shit, we're predictable. Reference to the Grin Grappler canon. Figure talk. A life story from the Oracle. Physical media. Joe brings up Lexi, all caps. Alex buries a modern wrestler. Well, hold on. It used to be better. Oracle deep cut match rec. Holiday special mention. We've done almost all of these. What the fuck?
Yep.
Chatter pops, everyone. Cal, Caden, Ibu, or shoot burial. Alex's hair looks amazing. Brother Terry. Next month's Grappler did not work this month. Next month's Grappler did work this month. Someone saw the Grappler live. Oh, okay. Got him. Saw him live wrestling. Okay, good. Comparison to a worker from another era. Okay. Cal has got it done. Here's his bingo card. It's complete. With
Amazing.
With the conclusion there of the holiday special up top is what we got there. Joe bringing up Lexi, of course. Bob with a smashing of the like button. The Ibu business. And then at the bottom there, Brother Terry, which I think you brought up for when you're talking about him potentially being politically fearful, I believe is what caused that. So, yeah. Hell of a job. Well done, Cal. Hope everyone's enjoyed playing along. Continue to play
That's so
along,
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
It is.
It is a little bit alarming that we're that predictable, but fun nonetheless. So, yeah, there we go, folks. All right. Let's talk about this match that got cut from the lineup. September 13th, 99. Dave Taylor and Steve Regal. Alex found this when we were desperately chasing something that wasn't Benoit. This is from Nitro. I love almost all involved here. This is just, it's not much, is it, Alex, in the end? It's, you watch it and you kind of, like, it's not even this bad. It's just not really much of a thing to talk about, is it, really?
And Barry's like almost barely in it. And it's you know how like some like things just don't match up in your head? Seeing Regal in that era of WCW is weird to me. Like it's a bit alarming. So yeah, it would have been on the lower end of like, or lesser end of the quality of the lineup. That's, I remember just messaging him. I was like, well, they wrestled the Blue Bloods. It's like, yeah, that'll work. But yeah, I think we definitely made out better. But yeah, it's a 4-minute match. It's on YouTube, like isolated. So if you're so inclined, check it out. But it's not going to blow your socks off.
It's not. Barry does take a back body drop at one point, which cloaked as I am, right, in 99. And then near the end of their run there, they head out. And, yep, you guessed it. He goes to All Japan.
Let's go work for Baba.
And he and Rotunda do a tag league. They really do. They do it. Now, this is before the Exodus, I want to say. Check. Can someone find out? Actually, no, I don't think it is, because I think they wrestled Tenru. It can't be. I think it's post Noah Exodus. They do a tag league in the All Japan where they like task Dr. Death to bring Gaijin back. He just goes, fuck it, we'll bring Windham and Windham and Rotunda in. Who needs it? It's 2000. Okay, did you know this, boys? At the Tokyo Dome in 2001, Barry teams with Kurt Hennig and Mike Rotunda. All Japan. 2001 Tokyo Dome match. Ain't any good, but he works hard in it. Tries his best. Yeah, Kurt Hennig at Tokyo Dome 2001. Deal with that. Think about it. The most notable work he does is for Turnbuckle, which was Dusty Rhodes' promotion, including, I think most famously nowadays, a pretty good match with Steve Corino, which we almost did on this, but I think the MLW WarGames was just too ridiculous.
Yeah.
We had to do it. If you've never seen the Turnbuckle match with Corino, swerve a look, just because it does suggest Barry still actually could, like, contribute more than he was able to show. But that brings us to our final match, MLW WarGames. September 19th, 2003, the Extreme Horsemen. Barry Windham, C.W. Anderson, P.J. Walker, Simon Diamond, and Steve Corino. Opposite the Funkin Army, which is Bill Alfonso, Sabu, Dr. Dev, Steve Williams, Terry Funk, and the Sandman. At one point, this match was supposed to include Jerry Lawler, but the WWF pulled him.
If I may be so bold, and this is also the trademark had lapsed or something, and that's how Court got to call it WarGames. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have the card handy by chance?
I was just about to ask Joe if I may if you would indulge me for a moment here. All right. So the night began with Los Maximos, Joel and Jose Maximo, also known as the SAT, defeating Juventud Guerrera and Super Dragon. We then, over the course of the evening, had a tournament for the MLW World Junior Heavyweight Championship, which consisted of Sanjay Dutt, Tony Mamaluke, Eddie Colon, who I believe was Primo. Is that right?
Yep.
Jerry Lynn, Juventud Guerrera, Jimmy Yang, Christopher Daniels, and Super Dragon. It was all political bullshit because Super Dragon got eliminated in the first round. But that would end up eventually coming down to Sanjay Dutt defeating Christopher Daniels in the final. Elsewhere on the show, we had Mikey Whipwreck taking on Norman Smiley. The Samoan Island tribe, ECMO, which that was Umaga.
Yep.
Mana and Samu. Defeating Matt Wright, Monster Mac, and Richard Criado in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, then the card takes an interesting turn as the patron saint of Grin Grappler, the numero uno, Samoa Joe takes on Mike Awesome.
Don't get too excited, folks.
It's
match
not
sucks,
that good of a match.
And he hates the match. But yeah.
Raven takes on Nosawa, which Nosawa is a character that's definitely been lost to time. And that match now is just hilarious. And then before our main event, Vampiro and one Phil Brooks, CM Punk, waged war on one another.
Yep.
And so that's setting the table for kind of where we were at this point in time.
All that to say, MLW has always been fucking nuts. And it has always been, and this, I will say, when I've watched their shows recently, the crowds actually are lively. Historically, MLW is home to matches where you go, oh wow, and then you watch it and it's just completely heatless.
Yeah.
And while I had fun with our last match, I am not thrilled to report that, unfortunately, folks, it fits that exact description because, man, Fort Lauderdale is just sitting there watching these legends just try their best in WarGames. Not much of an atmosphere for this one. Let's talk about it. Joey Styles greets us, which is always scary. They do a coin toss backstage, and Terry thanks Colt Bauer for inviting him.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
To give you an idea of the kind of state the lads are in, the Sandman opens this one up for the for the baby faces. He's our hero to lead them into battle here. First man in WarGames.
The rare black jeans variant Sandman, which not only he ends up shirtless pretty quick into this, which Hack with his shirt off is always a bit of an alarming sight, but he's in that mode. This is you can tell Hack's dialed in when he sells with the arms. When he gets hit, he and does a lot of that shit. And that's like all of Hack's selling in this match is arm based, where he's just like flailing his arms wildly.
Bob,
I hate how I can't not sell as Hogan. I did the rough where I should have been. That's more Hack. Yeah,
that's good. Very good.
Yeah.
Bob, I feel still even asking this. Had you ever seen this before?
No, I had not.
Was this your first MLW match?
Probably.
Fuck.
Have you ever seen a Simon Diamond match, or was this the first?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is the first one for him too.
Wow. Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it's a really fun and interesting collection of people. It's a moment in time. There's not much to really like about it, I don't think. It's kind of there. Everyone's having fun for 25 minutes. Some guys bleed, but yeah, I mean, nothing to really write home about.
It's so MLW, bro. Like, when you look at the lineup, you'd think it has to at least be like crazy or unusual, but like it ain't even like it. Just kind of, it's just nice, alright. It's kind of innocuous.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was kind of expecting, I guess, a little bit more given some of the names, but whatever. I guess.
Whatever, I guess.
Another ringing endorsement.
That could be a description of
oh, fuck.
this company.
I will say it's probably the most tolerable Joey Styles has ever been. He was not screaming the entire match, so I got to give him that. It's a shame that Bill Alfonso showed up. I don't like Bill Alfonso. And I think the Enforcer C.W. Anderson's a really good bit.
So, wow. How do you follow that, Oracle? Take your best shot, mate.
Oh, I'm not sure I can.
Yeah. Wow.
I watched this today and I had a good time with it.
Yeah, me too.
Terry Funk was the best guy in the match.
The fact that's actually true is so... Like, he's actually the best guy in the match, legitimately.
Yes, he actually is. He comes in and, flings a chair over the cage into the ring and starts throwing a chair. At one point, he throws a chair at C.W. Anderson from, across both rings. And C.W. Anderson, has to, doesn't know how to sell because it's such a crazy throw. So he just sort of, kind of catches it and, it hits him multiple times. It's really funny. They all just sort of hit each other and throw each other into the cage. I like the part where Funk starts beating the shit out of people with a cane.
Funk tries.
Carino bleeds, and Carino is always a great bleeder. Sandman bleeds a gusher. I think he gets like a crimson mask, right?
Yeah.
So I like the part where Sabu comes in and then teases jumping off the cage and then just decides he's going to go from the top rope and hit his leg drop to the table there. I wonder if he had initially planned to go from the top of the cage and decided it was a poor decision and
Yeah.
For once decided that maybe this isn't a good idea and just did it from the top right.
The crowd just kind of sat there, didn't they? So it probably would have been a waste, I think.
Yeah. Real worker. He said, "Nah, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
The finish is fucking awesome.
Yes, true.
Filmed really well, executed really well, sold really well. With the big with the branding iron, and then Funk blowing a fireball into Carino's face, and it looks fucking awesome. But and like even on the slow mo replay, it looks incredible. It looks even better on the replay, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was entertaining. It actually wasn't even that bad. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Just like it was pretty average. I mean, it's better than any other than maybe one or two of the WWF WarGames matches that I've seen in the last decade. So, but like, and in all honesty, there might be one Blood and Guts that's better than this too. So like, I mean, it's just, it's a passing grade.
Yeah, sure. If you want, we can do that. Let's do that. Let's just do that. It's good.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I was entertained because I didn't see who was on the match. Oh yeah, I forgot it's Barry Windham, Grin Grappler. So Barry comes in last and hits an awesome pile driver and throws some good punches, and that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah,
it popped me.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything in it, but
yeah,
it was. I must admit, when this came up,
it's his last significant match ever. I think, right? Like
I think so.
More after this, but it's his last match that people sort of.
I know that Barry's out there watching this,
either out of irony or fondly or whatever. But like it's his last
notable match.
Where we go, oh yeah, he worked this match.
Barry's watching this and it's like, I can't believe these fuckers just called this match significant. But we did, and we're sticking to it. We give it a passing grade.
Hey,
but, yeah. What's up, Mark? What was you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I seem to be the high. Here's the thing: the match was not that we have to get into a deep debate about this, but like, I thought the match was fine. Like,
no, we agree. I gave it like 2 3/4.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that it was just I wasn't expecting the ranking against other WarGames matches. That was what was pop.
Well, I mean,
I don't think there's anything wrong with the match. It's just the reason it's like when Alex and I fought for this, I think we both expected it to be like kind of either a shit show or like, oh my god, it's glorious, and it's kind of just like, it's all right.
I just gotta say that like not to drown the show out too much here, but like, I mean, I don't know, man. They worked a WarGames match where like the match ended when the fucking
the
everybody got in the ring
truth,
and didn't go another fucking half hour.
Most of the guys in the match worked hard. It just had no heat because it's MLW. That's the honest truth. Like,
it was no heat.
They tried their best. WarGames needs heat, dude. Absolutely. Alex, we fought for it. We made it happen. We made it to the dance. What did you make of it, mate?
Yeah, it's fun. It's more of a novelty than anything. It is not lost on me that C.W. Anderson started, as you know, Arn was always the heater. Pat Kenny just fucking sucked. Simon Diamond was awful. Like that dude. That like even as a 13-year-old man, like I saw through like trying to push him as like a premier heel in ECW. Not to be undone, he's on the same team as Just Incredible, but fortunately he doesn't really do too much offensive in this.
I like PJ.
You would.
I like Steve.
Yeah. That's just not the coolest. Oh god, the fucking worst. Anyway, yeah, the fact that Lawler, I always like my mind started to wander of like what Jerry Lawler in this match would have looked like. Steve Corino, let me tell you something. Getting in there and tearing it up. It is worth calling out. Dr. Death Steve Williams looks like absolute dog shit in this match. He can barely throw punches at that point in his career, and Bart Gunn had already done him in something fierce. But to our subject, when Barry comes through that curtain, he's got his shirt tucked into his jeans and he's got his little bandana on. He has this look on his face like he's there to take care of business.
He does.
And for that 2 seconds of that reveal, I kind of adjusted myself in my seat like, hold on.
Yeah.
And then he gets in there and he does the cactus pile driver, which is really weird. Where you grab the back of the tights and pull them down. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm watching a match that's 23 years old and a guy who at this point was well past his prime. But he could still, it's like I made the Jake Roberts comparison earlier. And don't get me wrong, Barry was a hell of a lot better than Jake Roberts. But that idea of you can still like turn it on there and convince me that you've still got it. You still know what you're there to do. But aside from that, I think the funniest part of the match, or the most fun I had in the match, was Sabu put someone, I think it was just incredible, on the table, and I think he thought the cage was shorter than it was because his back's to it and he's on the top rope, and I think he thought he was just going to push himself up onto the cage, but it's a lot higher, and he pushes down and his legs are kicking like he's trying to, like a little kid, that you are holding in the air. And then he just gives up on it and just jumps off the top rope. And then there's also a part where Barry Windham's just booting Fonzie, and Fonzie's just sitting in the corner not selling. He's just, like Bruiser Brody there, just staring at him. It's a novelty more than anything. I think I do side with Oracle, though, that it's more entertaining, more to the point than a lot of these modern WWE WarGames matches that you want to talk about heatless. The only reason they have heat is because people are sitting on their hands waiting for the point where, like, someone's going to fall off the roof. Or not the roof, but the top of the cage. And anyway, good stuff. The Terry Funk Fireball is incredible. You can tell Steve Corino is not sure how big of a fireball is about to be blown at him. You can see, like, that momentary, like, and then just, like, you're right. The slow motion looks even cooler. It looks like his fucking face gets engulfed in it. And, I know we didn't plan it this way, but in light of the recent passing of old Dorrance Funk Jr., ending the show on a spinning toe hold, I think was a fun little, nod to the big man.
Definitely agree. I was kind of I gotta be honest, I was kind of amused by doing a WarGames match on the Windham lineup and it being this one. It kind of tickled. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. It's cute.
Yeah. He's in the greatest WarGames match of all time. That's also regarded as one of the greatest matches of the 90s. In our mind, it's immediately like Court Bauer.
91 is 91's incredible.
You mentioned it earlier. Yeah. I'm glad you brought it up. But the whole that match is great. But the whole through line of him and Pillman in that match is awesome.
Yeah. It has to be said, ECW, the Rise and Fall of DVD and One Night Stand really was transformative for the old lads that were in ECW, dude. It rebuilt all their aura, right? They got their whole kind of recognition back. I think that's a little bit lost to history, to be honest.
The ECW guys before that were doing MLW and the weekly TNA shows. Yeah. And it's just I think Sabu's a great example. Sabu was just toiling on indies and stuff, and he would have spots in TNA, but then after the Rise and Fall and the reunion shows and stuff, Sabu then started getting more bookings as a main eventer on house indie shows and shit like that. And then a bunch of fucking jackasses that didn't deserve the clout. Simon Diamond, I'm sure, got some more bookings after that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. Well, there you go, folks. MLW's long-awaited debut in the history of Grin Grappler. We hope we didn't sway you from tuning in live this Saturday, 6:05 Eastern, to MLW Fusion, as the Skyscrapers take on the Good Brothers in the Tennessee Tornado match from Chattanooga, taped approximately 10 weeks ago, I believe. Also on the card, Mystico, LeBron Cazone, and Jumbo. Not sure who that is, but it's a great name. So tune in live, 6:05 Eastern, youtube.com/MLW. Yeah. Dan. God, that was awesome, wasn't it? Oracle was almost at this show, legitimately. Not the one we just talked about, this one, the Tennessee Tornado one. He almost went.
Oh, did any of us ever see Barron's live?
I never went.
No.
We thought about it, and then we were
he's still talking about the MLW.
Yes, exactly. It sounded like he was talking about Barry Windham.
I never went.
So none of us saw Barry Windham either. I mean,
I never saw Barry, because by the time I went to the Thunder I went to in June 2000, or it might have been early July 2000, he was gone. So
yeah.
I'm looking up the one Nitro I went to real quick, see if he was on it.
In the meantime, he does have a couple more trips to Japan ahead of him. He does IWA Japan with Rotundo. but the story is basically complete. Dude, how the fuck did he never work for TNA? That feels like it would have happened, doesn't it? It feels like he had a match with Jarrett in like, you know, in the
especially like 02, 03
asylum.
when he was still wrestling
Yep.
in the Indies. Yeah.
That's what, from what I saw, the MLW thing was a little bit of an outlier, but sometimes
And
cage
Barry
match
was-
is incomplete.
Barry
so
was
I don't
only
know.
40 here, right?
Oh
only
my
40.
god, that might be true.
I mean, I think he was only
Jesus.
40 or 41. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh wow, that's sad.
Yeah.
Poor fella. He served as a producer of WWE, which I found out today. I had no idea he was ever an agent there, but he was.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's put a bow on this. Before we do, in fact, let's call out some other matches from that final act. It's going to be a brief segment. I do like the Carino match from 01. I believe it's 01 Turnbuckle. I like, we mentioned the tags with Malenko and Benoit. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
About it, right? Probably.
There's probably, I would be willing to bet there's a couple of fun West Texas Rednecks tags on like other Thunders and Nitros.
I bet they did some fun stuff on house shows.
that I wanted to
Yeah.
that I want to see. Because remember in the summer '99, the best thing going WCW, the only good thing going WCW, was the tag division, and that's when they had a match with the Triad that I kind of want to see. So.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah, that sounds fun. The Blackjack's All Japan stuff is their best stuff, right? Kind of by default, not because it's great.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes when they would go like 4 or 5 minutes on like a superstar or something, you know, it's kind of fun to beat the hell out of something, whatever. But
it did pop me. Barry tells a story about when he would, because obviously Bradshaw was always rugged, but that time he's like kind of green too. And the guys they would work with used to say, tag in the little Blackjack, because like Barry was light and Bradshaw would just beat the fuck out of guys. which I really liked. But yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot here, is there, boys, for this final act, sadly. We did an MLW match, respectfully. Again, 605 Eastern Live. But yeah. Man, I sent you guys a clip earlier. I was watching the Barry Windham shoot interview, and he's asked halfway in the interview who's the most overrated guy he ever worked with, and he hasn't got an answer. And an hour later, he says, I'm going to circle back to that question. Most overrated guy is me. And the interviewer that shall not be named is like, whoa. Someone's being honest on a shoot interview. And Barry Windham says, so many people tell me how good I am, and I see myself a certain way, but I've just been sitting at home so often, you know? I guess it's me. And it is one of the more, like, human...
Sobering.
Yeah, like, wrestlers are never, ever that human on camera.
Mhm.
Especially then, in 2001, 2002. Like, wow, he really said that. It's on my my Twitter. Go check it out. There's a clip, it's like a minute long. Barry Windham is an all-time great wrestler who could have had a better career, and I think should have had a better career. And some of that was luck. Some of that was he was, you know, the way he kind of operated, right? Probably didn't help his case. But also I think it would be unfair to kind of overly point the finger at him when he tore his knee in consecutive matches. Not by doing anything stupid, just because, right? It's Ric Flair of all people. So, like, yeah. In that way, it's kind of a sad story, but I also think in doing this, there's a lot to celebrate about his career. He's a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. He has a major role in some of the definitive matches of the 90s and 80s. I mean, it's Barry fucking Windham. To quote the song, he's smoking and all the other stuff they say. Let's put a bow on his legacy. Bob O'Neill, final thoughts on Barry Windham.
Yeah, I don't want to go as far as to say, you know, he's kind of forgotten, but I think as far as like a guy as good as he was is not talked about in the way that, you know, some other guys who weren't even as good as he is get talked about. And so in a way, a little bit forgotten. Like he's in a lot of big stuff in the 80s and 90s, like you said, but you know, it is kind of a shame. It's a shame, you know, that clip where he kind of reveals how he kind of feels about himself. It's a bit of a bummer. And like,
yeah,
because he's in some good stuff. We covered it here. Like there was good stuff across 15 years even. I know, you know, he missed 3 years or whatever, 2 years, but still, like, I don't think he gets really the credit he deserves. And when we get a guy like that on here, I'm glad that we can do a small part in kind of giving them that credit.
And to your point, and I say this lovingly, Barry Windham is not a mid card guy that we're like saying, "Hey guys, give him another look." Like Barry Windham was when he was in his prime, he was a top guy. He was like a
Yeah.
featured wrestler, like, which makes it even weirder that he's kind of lost in that way. Oracle, any closing thoughts when it comes to Barry Windham?
One of my all-time favorites. Great in pretty much any setting: tag, singles, trios, face, heel. Had a great aura about him. Good promo. Had one of the great runs in the history of American wrestling from late 1990 through the middle of 93. Was just about to reach the mountaintop, and things got pretty bad, unfortunately. More so unlucky for him at that point than it was earlier in his career in the 80s when he would jump around and so on and so forth. But all-time great for sure. Someone who really probably should have been better than they were. Pretty amazing to see that clip where he says that about himself. It actually makes me respect him a lot more even now.
Same, yeah.
Because cool. I mean, what fucking wrestlers are going to say that?
None.
So I respect him even more now after seeing that clip. Honestly, it's weird. He almost feels like a what if to me. I think the biggest what if is, regardless if he has to put Flair over in that match at Beach Blast, what if he stays healthy? Where does he go? What does he do?
Right.
In 93, 94. Maybe things don't work out when Hogan comes in, but maybe he's still hot and over as a top guy. Right. And he goes to WWF and has a decent run there.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it does work out, right? Maybe he draws money with it. Yeah.
Yeah. He is, in terms of I'm trying to find the right word. He's someone who absolutely should have been like a top 10 U.S. worker ever and wasn't for various reasons, but is still like firmly going to be in my top 100 for perhaps ever. If I were to make a list, I don't know. It's hard to find the words because I didn't want to say tragic because it's not really tragic.
Right, he had a great career. Yeah,
weird stuff happened that
melancholic in a sense of
he was
from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
He had when he tore his knee against Flair, he had just turned 33. Entering your prime as a worker, coming up to it.
And it's crazy because he had I like the Randy Orton comparison because Randy Orton has gotten every opportunity under the sun, whether he's behaved himself or not.
Yeah.
And I like Randy, but like Randy Orton's never in his life been as good as Barry Windham.
I do think Barry's best is better. The thing that separates them, is I think Barry's peak is better.
Yes,
I don't think Randy has free consecutive years like Barry has there, but Randy obviously is.
Randy's never been as bad.
Right, and he has longevity.
When Barry was at his worst, but what I like about the comparison is that it also shows the times. It's a good sort of encapsulation of what it's like to be a wrestler after the turn of the 21st century, and what it is before, and how because the competition and how things were before, any sort of mistake or any sort of bad luck, was going to be a lot more. The margin of error was a lot smaller back then, and not so much for the guys
Right.
of Randy's ilk and generation.
Yeah. The Randy comparison pops me because they're both so naturally gifted, right? I mean, Barry Windham is one of the most gifted workers ever. So graceful for a man of his size, effortless, but also had an instinctive feel for it. You know, was on like booking committees at times and had a real like mind for wrestling too. It's complicated. I used the word mercurial a couple hours ago. Alex, anything you want to add on this? We have a few things in the chat to tackle too, but anything you want to add before we get to those?
There is, Joe. I think the time that we're in right now, and this isn't uncommon to previous generations, but like, I feel like wrestlers like Arn Anderson, Nick Bockwinkel, talked about William Regal earlier, so maybe like him. I feel like there's these class of wrestlers who younger fans and even younger people getting into wrestling just like accept are good without like, you know, really, as Bob and his heroes would say, do their own research. And so I think sometimes it can be lost, like a Bockwinkel, for example, how great Nick Bockwinkel was. And I think Barry Windham kind of falls into that category of, I think some people just accept how good he was. And I'm here to tell you that, like, when he was on, Barry Windham's one of the best professional wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Like, I think, like, you know, take Arn as an example of, like, you tell me Desert Island type situation where I only get fucking Barry Windham's catalog or Arn Anderson's. I understand Arn's more consistent, but the highs of Barry Windham's catalog are like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
And so I think Roman Reigns is not qualified to make Barry Windham a sandwich. I'll respond to that question in the chat.
You've turned on Big Rome contra Al. Turned on him.
Yeah. Well, he overstayed his welcome, and that's what happens. But anyway, it would have been a hell of a match. Babyface fucking really Barry against fucking OTC.
I like Roman Reigns. Carry on as you were.
Had a good match with Phil. So anyway, just finishing the thought here. Barry Windham, I think, I hate using the word underrated, so I'm not going to say that. I think some people might just not understand how good he was, or not just honestly just not be aware. Yeah. Because with a lot of modern fans and stuff, it's hard to talk them into these fucking 45-minute matches and stuff like that. And so there could be a slew of reasons why a lot of people don't understand how great Barry Windham was. But I'm here to tell you, and if you're listening to this, it means in some capacity you at least want to know what I think about something, and that is Barry Windham is one of the greatest professional wrestlers I've ever seen, and someone that people should model themselves after. And I don't mean the moves themselves, I mean like his approach to it, even going all the way back to WrestleMania 1, that promo we started where fucking Lou Albano looked like a drunk buffoon and fucking Mike Rotunda looked like a nerd, and then Barry Windham just looked cool, like out of that trio there. Like there's so many things you can take away from his contributions, his efforts, and obviously his in-ring work. But man, it is a shame that we didn't get Barry and Hogan or Barry and Brett, or like some weird situation where Barry stayed healthy and then he was like a heel heavy that came in for Vince in '98 and feuded with Austin. Like there's all these different like things you can think about. It's sad that we didn't get it, but man alive, like we did get some unreal performances from this guy. And I think his career, as celebrated as it is almost kind of, like maybe underappreciated. Right. So yeah, Barry Windham, 2 thumbs up.
And you know, for the sake of clarity, for any, because it's only fair, he could blow hot and cold at times, right? And Barry was, as well as the injuries, he was his own worst enemy in terms of just being like, oh fuck it, I'm out. Like he did that a lot. So I hope we painted a fair picture, but he's clearly a favorite of ours. Yeah,
we talked about that earlier too. I mentioned there were plenty of times and examples. There's some Clash of Champions you could fire up, and Barry was in a autopilot or on cruise control. You know. Yeah.
Carol brings it up. It was really noticeable to me. I wasn't prepared for Barry to drop. GWE 2016, Barry was 25th. He was 97th in 2026. And honestly, listen, there's so many great wrestlers. I'm not here to police which numbers more, because I get it. But it was a drop that you kind of went, holy shit. Like, people are not watching. People are not feeling or watching a lot of Barry Windham, so that was noticeable. Last couple of things here. How interesting is it? Like, his relationship with WWE, like, he always feels like someone that's, like, part of the family, but he's never been in any of the 2K games.
He was in the Super Brawl Super Nintendo game.
There you go.
And I remember the West Texas Rednecks were in Mayhem. So his 2 video game representations are in just god-awful video games.
Hey, he's not been in any of them, dude. Like, he's been in the Hall of Fame twice, including, it was the year after Bray passed, so it was 24 he went in. Like,
yeah,
it's weird.
Usually that gets you in for a couple of years for the game is like part of the deal.
And
Yeah,
Mike Rotundo's had a ton of IRS figures. Has to have. I know I've seen at least one. I know for a fact I've seen one. Maybe not a ton.
Yeah, don't have an ant called it out. Like, yeah, okay, his figures here. He's got the Galoob WCW, the variant of that, the WCW Bendy. There's a Blackjack's Jack's tag team, like a Bone Crunchers.
I need to see this.
He got 2 of the classic superstars. And then, yeah, he was in that Target exclusive 4 Horsemen set. And then that's it. Everything since then has been a third-party production.
Right, so the big rubber guy should be a big hit then, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Good for Barry. All right, folks. IRS hasn't been in the games either. There you go. That's very strange. Like, their family's been, like, part of the company for years. It's very strange.
IRS was in, is it Raw or Super WrestleMania? One of the Genesis games, maybe Royal Rumble. Because I remember the animation of the write-off, his, like, clothesline looked so sick, and it was so satisfying to pull it off in that game. Yeah.
How odd is it when a guy is an agent there and, like, they never do, like, licensing stuff? Like, was Dean Malenko ever in the video games?
Maybe 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, not regularly.
He worked there for 15 years as an agent. Mike Rotundo worked there for how many years? You know what I'm saying? It's weird, right? Like, it's just strange how it works out. Nonetheless, final question is from chat Matt earlier. Again, credit our bingo game. Please thank him for that in the chat. There you go. Billy Kidman's another one. Base or heel? Windham, what's your preference? He's one of the. I think he's one of the best. Like both ways is money. I like that 93 miserable fuck arrogant Barry Windham personally. Bob, you seem on the same page.
Yep, I'm with you.
Oracle, same page. A nod of the head.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be recency bias for me after watching that Scorpio match a few hours ago. But yeah, that's definitely that.
Tremendous. There's our answer. Matt, appreciate you very much. To another Matt. Okay, member for 18 months. Can't wait to get MLP on here for Bob. Listen, from what I've heard about that Andrade machine gun match, it could be on the Andy episode in 2029. So we'll just keep in that back pocket. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you've been a member. Hope you've enjoyed your 18 months as a member of LNG Gold. All right, folks. Let's look ahead. Next month's Grin Grappler. We have 6 names. Some very modern ones, some old school ones. Let's do it. I'm going to go back and forth between the modern and the old school, all right? We have wrestling legend, SGT Slaughter, I believe is his name.
I don't think that's funny, guys. Did you see that clip?
Yes, I did. Cardano put it over. You could tell Chelsea yelled at him about that. You could just feel it in his tone, couldn't you? You could just see, you could feel it. A modern name who has had, and Alex, I know you're not necessarily going to jump at this one, but I do think this guy has had an interesting career and he's deep enough in it. We could be fun the matches. Pac, dude, Pac has been a somebody in wrestling now for like 15 years. I'm not saying that's something you were comfortable with, but something to live with.
We'd have to do that Generico Bola match. That was like his big breakout one.
Yeah. We have one of our favorites. Someone who I'm kind of stunned we haven't done an episode for. It's the point where I actually wonder if we have and I've forgotten it. Bobby Eaton. Modern one again. Here we go. Their PR is at an all-time low, but as a tag team, they have the resume. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. And 1 year removed from his timely passing in the world of late night grid, and Hulk Hogan is on the board. I'm throwing him on the board. He's dead now. We can do it. I think we'll be okay.
Brother.
And it would be a great episode. It would be. And finally, someone else who's at a little bit of a lull in their major run, but is obviously a modern great. Gunter Volta is the final name. So we have SGT Slaughter, Pac, Bobby Eaton, the Usos, Hulk Hogan, and Volta. As always, Bob O'Neill, lead us into battle, brother.
Well, you put me in a real bad spot here, in a way, because I think a Hogan episode would be excellent. I think be one of the best things we've done. I don't know that everyone else would necessarily. I know us four would like it. I don't know that everyone else would necessarily like it. I don't want to do the Usos.
Yep.
Slaughter's interesting, I guess, because I really only know him as late stage WWF.
You talking about SGT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Eaton is on this poll every year in August, and he still hasn't won. So, I mean, if he wins, that's fine. So, yeah, one of those three, I would lean Hogan, but, I mean, we'll see.
I'm going to do a favor for our friend Cal. Cal said, where did he say it? Fuck, he said something about, no, okay, here's, so historically, August has been a month for the women of Grin, Grappler, Mickey James, Alexa Bliss. For this, just for Cal, I'm going to add a name to the list. We could do Saraya. Hey, we could.
Fucking DEI hire over here.
We could do Saraya. We could do Saraya.
You imagine you have fucking Walter's match catalog and you pick Paige? Jesus.
That's what I like throwing ideas out there and supporting.
No, that was nice. Man of the people.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Oracle, what are you thinking?
So, Sergeant Slaughter is unbelievable, and we could have one hell of a Sergeant Slaughter Grin Grappler because
Agreed.
I've seen a whole hell of a lot of Sarge over recent years, and he has got an incredible resume. One of the great workers of the 80s, exceptional.
That alley fight with Pat Patterson.
Amazing.
All-timer.
Hogan would actually be really good, I think, and we could really get some awesome matches on there. And I think his availability is fine now that the piece of shit is dead, so I think we can just, cover him.
Right. No, it's genuinely that's true, because otherwise we would do the thing where we would keep, disclaimer, he's dead, isn't he? It's over. It's finished.
Right. So the other one, look, I love Bobby Eaton. He's an amazing wrestler, one of my all-time favorites. Feels a little bit too close to Barry in terms of the time period.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just throwing this out there for a future time. Right? Midnight Express episode?
I think that's the play, yeah.
I
we
think
could even do
Midnight Express episode at some point.
Because we could do Condry.
Yes, exactly.
We could even actually go before, yeah.
Yeah. We can do the various versions and stuff. I think we should do an MX episode. We're absolutely not doing Jimmy and Jay. Fuck off.
It'd be a good episode, man. I'm telling you.
No.
That would be. Listen, it would be a good episode. That sounded more extreme. I didn't mean to be that extreme, but it's just.
Listen, we cannot conclude the Barry Windham episode by going, these guys are off the ball because they had a couple bad years at the end of their career. It's not. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Fair.
Barry Windham also never said some dumb shit like, this you'll won't and shot, bow!
If he had Instagram, he would have said a lot of dumb shit, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, hold on.
Very true. So,
Bob, take
I do think there's fun to the fact we would be doing the show at their absolute fucking low in terms of PR. That's why I put them on the list, personally.
Dude, I'm sorry, Oracle, I don't know if this, I just feel like we're drowned in this fucking bloodline vortex, and I don't want to, watch these matches with these guys, man.
That's why it pops me.
I kind of feel the same as you do, although to play.
I know you were really excited about Zilla Fatu debuting.
I didn't even
True.
know. I didn't even know. But did he show up in NXT or something?
Yeah.
But
He attacked Cruz Montana.
okay, yeah, fucking Cruz Montana. Go
You
to
can just
hell.
make up names and like Oracle. I could say he attacked Thaxton Korb, and he would go, "Yeah, sure."
Jesus Christ. I would argue, in Joe's defense, the Usos episode would be very good with several great matches. There would be some really great matches on that.
Oh, yeah.
Baby faces, heels, bloodline.
I will say this. I think my answer ultimately is
I think we
either
actually have the
Sarge or
same.
Hogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I kind of think Sarge is the right pick, to be honest.
I think we should do Sarge.
Yeah. Hogan, I think we could give more time. Wait. Sarge. But I'm not opposed. Alex, tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean Hogan's the obvious answer, just because we would construct like a pretty fascinating lineup. But I guess slots, I think definitely. I think that'd be more interesting for us, and not to have an ego, but like people in the chat, our fan base. I think the Slaughter episode might kind of unveil some things to people, because Hogan, all that's going to be is people like everyone already has their mind made about Hulk Hogan. So maybe at some point, what we do with Hogan is like put together a match listing and do like a Grin along or something, because like I don't know what we're going to accomplish talking about our feelings about Hulk Hogan. I think with that though, a pretty quick compromise. If we do slots, one of the things we can pencil in is the Desert Storm Madison Square Garden match that he had.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is, so I think Slaughter. I mean,
the chat was they're really pro Hogan. Chat. That's the word phrase I'm going to use. Pro Hogan.
The problem with Slaughter is we might get a C and D from Bix, so we need to figure out.
All right. Okay, so are we gonna go Slaughter? Is that what we're gonna do?
Slaughter or Hogan. And just to clarify, Gunther is my favorite active wrestler, my favorite modern wrestler.
Yeah.
But that would just be me fucking glazing for 3 hours.
I actually think timing wise that one's worse than the Usos, because I feel like his story is not complete. The Usos are like, they're done, aren't they? I mean, especially as a top tag team. With Gunther, it's like, if like Roman or Cody or Punk step off, like he might actually have a real run still as the top guy. He still could, right? In theory. I do think Pac's interesting, but I know Alex don't want to watch those matches.
Oh, dude, no. I am Mr. 205 Live, so yeah, I joke, but yeah, we did.
Actually, bro, he was gone by the time 205 Live, really got going. Just to be clear.
This is true. He was there. He was setting the groundwork. He had that program with Aries that was really good, and then
the foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Tony just killed the whole thing.
So we're gonna do Sarge, yeah? Sarge?
Yeah, Sarge.
Bob, are you okay with that? I know you're very severe about his credibility as a. Never mind. Yeah, I don't want to start Alex again on that. Never mind.
No, it's fine.
You fine with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I know who you are.
That was contentious, honestly. Oracle played all sides a couple of times. Very good.
He was very political. Yeah, I appreciated it.
He was. At one point, he was going one way, and then he kind of pulled back and said, "Wait, Joe books the shows. Let me relent on this a little bit."
Yeah.
It genuinely though, this is true. Legitimately, we're all guilty of it. When guys fall off within a career, we all overcorrect in real time because we're watching them, right?
Yeah.
Bro, imagine us if we were the way we are now. Imagine us watching Barry Windham in the new Blackjacks. Just fucking so resentful. Get him out of my fucking show. Get him off. Get out. You need to have something. You need to just kind of. We'll do. Oh my goodness. Bob, you can take this one from our great friend John Burr, who beats the buzzer with his super chat. Bobby, take it away.
Dix received desist orders. He does not send them. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. That would have been on the bingo card as well. So there you go.
The Hail Mary. Yeah.
Folks, tomorrow night, 10:05 Eastern, confirmed shoot, the Oracle of Wrestling. Novi, Caden, myself, talking about AEW Rampage, which turned 5 today. I guess no. It didn't because it died, I guess, at 3.
Yeah.
Well, it was 5 years ago anyway. We're talking about Rampage very loosely, very casually. Because on tomorrow's Grin, we're going to be starting our 5th birthday festivities. Because Rampage is tied and married to the history of this show and this platform. And so tomorrow we're going to have a very, very fun hangout. We're going to actually have a list to count down of the greatest Rampage matches. We're going to talk memories of the Grin and moments and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, Oracle will be there. Shoot will be there. Novi and Caden will also be there. Bob O'Neill, any plugs?
Tuesday, we return to Japan. I don't know what we have lined up, but hopefully some more Big Bubba. That's been fun. Yeah, join us for that. Then I don't know when I'll be around other than that, but I'm sure I'll pop up eventually.
True. I mean, we have our birthday in 2 weeks, right? So you got to be there for that, our 5th birthday.
2 weeks? Okay.
Yep, 2 weeks.
Cool.
Yep.
That was next week. That's fine. Yeah, 2 weeks is good.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. The Oracle of Wrestling going to be there tomorrow, mate. Any other plugs?
Yes, I will be there tomorrow, 10:05 Eastern, for the flagship, for the best matches in the history of Rampage to celebrate Rampage's history. And now I can confirm, I believe,
Okay.
August 25th, 9 p.m., myself and young Donnie will be covering part 1 of 2 of Christian's WWECW run.
Let's go.
Jesus.
Tune in for that.
That's
August 25th,
Oracle through and
9
through right there.
p.m.
A genuine Jesus on that. All right, for anyone who's still playing along, Alex, what's going on with the Contrarians? What's the latest, brother? Tell us.
There you go. We are winding down our summer journey, our series titled Bedroom to Box Office, in which we chronicle the attempts of pornographic actors and actresses trying to ply their trade in mainstream Hollywood. Most recently, we tackled The Girlfriend Experience, which was a Steven Soderbergh film from the late 2000s, was starring Sasha Grey, who at that point in time was one of the probably the most prolific porn star in the game. It's actually a pretty good movie. And also, if you're interested in the behind-the-scenes machinations, a bit of an investment in that movie from Mark Cuban. So the story behind it's kind of interesting as well. And then recently we dropped Inherent Vice, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson film that Julio and I have extremely conflicting views on, but had appearance from the formerly known as Belladonna. So interesting discussion there. We're closing it with The Other Side of the Wind, which for decades was the Lost Orson Welles film. And we have a really cool, I guess, add-on to it, in which we have an interview with someone who's kind of familiar with the story and some of the lore behind that. So keep an eye out for that. We are thecontrarians.com, at Contrarian Prime across all social media platforms. And then also blew up the chat with the Sasha Grey name drop. I have been traveling and moving and doing a lot of stuff, and I haven't been doing a good job of self-promotion. And Joe, I just yesterday or the day before that finally got to watch our SummerSlam 1992 Criterion release. Unbelievable work on that from an editing perspective, and also our graphics. If you haven't watched that yet, please go to LNG Productions. First of all, subscribe, and then watch our SummerSlam 92 Criterion edition. If you haven't watched the other ones, they're little bite-sized episodes, so be sure to tune into them. Big fan of, I have fun talking about it with Joe, but seeing this ridiculous vision come to life is quite the hoot. So be sure to check that out.
And we, in that episode, announced the next episode. So August is going to be a double release for the Criterion series. September, we're going to take off because I don't want to spoil it, Bill, if they haven't watched it, but you need to be topical, right? So we're going to shoot for, not this Sunday, next, for the next entry, because we want to get that out before, so check that out. Very, very fun.
And if you have a problem with it showing up this early in the collection, cry me a river.
Dude, you know, for real, that is going to actually upset people the way we handled that show. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
definitely.
awesome. I can't wait. I'm excited. So that's coming up, folks. Saturday, if you're a Colliders Unite tier member, the Hooper is back for Collision. Manny has started watching Collision again with us, which has been an interesting development. He don't really watch it at all, but he sort of he has it on, you know. John Burson at Final Super Chat said, "Fucking hell, Oracle speaking slower than a Triple H promo."
Hey, John Burr, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Very good. So yeah, that's the main things coming up. Also this weekend there will be G1 coverage, semi-finals and finals. So we'll be doing those for all members too. In fact, you know what? Maybe we'll even do the final for all of the Grinners out there. Maybe we'll do that free. I'll see how things will line up in terms of who's on the show. But exciting times. And One Full Sail Summer is very close to the finish line. Rice has been doing a hell of a job with that. And that's a personal project for me, man. That's a show that I remember vividly watching as a teenager. And I got to share my perspective alongside Jacob Cohen and Dax the Axe Harwood. That's pretty cool, pretty unique. So that's going to be coming to production soon. Probably in the next week, probably. So stay tuned for an official release on that. Folks, if you haven't already, please do like the stream. We've had a wonderful Thursday evening. Keep grinning. All hail. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.